106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Wednesday, April 3rd, it's Double Impact. I'm your host, Gabe LT. I hope my microphone is on. I am here with my great friend, my co-host, the hilarious one, the great Jericho Green. How you doing, friend?
Doing great. How are you?
Just blazing up, huh?
Hey, nothing more manly than this. Hanging out with the boys, action movies, and cigars.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, guys, welcome in. Welcome in. Mark's Music Obsession. Kara, None the Miser. I saw a great comment here. None the Miser is a very funny dude. He said, use the Back to the Future's the show tonight, Back to the Future 2. Use the time machine to start the show on time. So,
no, I wouldn't use it for that.
Touché.
I would not use it for that.
Touché,
I use it for something way better than that. But I see where you're going with that.
Right.
None the Miser.
Right.
And with with all the credit he's built in his account, I'll take that from None the Miser.
We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take that one. That's
fine.
That's fine. That's fine. You know when someone's really pissed, the voice gets higher. It gets higher.
No, it's good. No, we're good. It's fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Like when you ask your wife, "What's wrong?" Nothing. And damn good and well, it ain't nothing.
Right.
Don't fall for that, fellas.
Right. How have things been? What you been up to lately? I've been buried up to my eyeballs in comic books and t-shirts. What about you?
Not quite to my eyeballs, but definitely been busy with creating content, raising the youngins. My kids are younger than yours, so they're still doing their sports and stuff like that. So staying good busy. Good busy.
Right. I've been packing and shipping, but I have fallen in love 40 years later with Huey Lewis in the News.
Right.
Because of these movies. Because I've always liked it. It's good music, but I never bought it or listened to it on repeat. And, Back in Time, The Power of Love, those two songs from these movies, and they're so good. So I went and bought his greatest hits, and I've been playing it nonstop for a week while I work and drive and everything. Love it. Love it. Why don't they make this music anymore? The chorus to you, Do You Believe in Love, which I think is Huey Lewis's best song. Do you believe in love? Do you believe it's true? Do you believe in love? Well, you got me believing it too. That's so romantic. It's wonderful. It's positive. It's man and woman together. Now it's like, do you believe in ass cheeks in your face, boy? And they would never write this stuff nowadays.
And that's the guy saying that.
Right. Right.
No, Huey Lewis in the News, they go in the time capsule to be opened 150 years from now to see what life was like here. One of the greatest bands from the 80s. Also, he was chosen to be in We Are the World for a reason. That was like, I just saw the documentary on that not too long ago. All the heaviest hitters of 80s music were on that song, were in that room. Right. Huey Lewis was in there. And one thing that I liked about, that I miss about these 80s movies is product placement.
Yes.
Product placement.
Would you like some song. Diet Pepsi, Jericho? You feel like a refreshing Diet Pepsi.
You want to go out and get a pair of Nikes or Burger King, Toyota. Also, The Power of Love. I think Power of Love or The Heart of Rock and Roll. Those are my two favorite Huey Lewis songs. But when you get greatest hits like that, or bands you haven't heard in a long time, you forget how many hits they had.
Damn. I did the whole deep dive thing, go on Wikipedia, read his whole history of his life, where he grew up. He spent time in Europe. He was in this band and that band. His name isn't Huey Lewis. It's like Huey Craig or Huey Clegg the Third. You know, he's a third. His grandfather was like a district attorney in Boston or Pittsburgh or something, or a big lawyer over there. I read all about it. It's fascinating. So I became a fan 40 years late, but became a huge Huey Lewis fan. But this is my favorite kind of music, because my favorite artist since I've been 8 years old has always been Phil Collins. Love Phil Collins. I have his albums. Yeah, listen to that. I wondered my whole life what Sussudio meant. And I found an interview where he said it was a placeholder word, and he just left it. It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't.
Became one of his biggest hits. I love Phil Collins, man. And Genesis, you know, they were looking, I can't remember why, but their lead singer left or something like that. And they were looking for a new singer, and they were looking around. They're like, oh yeah, the drummer guy, right? The guy who's been here the whole time. You could sing, right? And then that was, you know, Phil Collins just took off, man. But or Genesis, you know, continued, but then he took off on his own. Yeah, Phil Collins is a shit. One of the greatest drummers of all time.
I mean, that drum in the air tonight. Like that's like one of the greatest ever, you know.
If you don't know that drum intro, then just go ahead and log off right now. We don't need you.
Kara says, I gained some respect from my hockey brother when I played. She gained some mad respect from her hockey brother when she played Queen one day in the locker room. Kara, what are you doing in the boys' locker room, Kara?
Yeah, were you dropping something off, or were you hanging out?
What are you doing?
You got to give some backstory, girl. You got to give some backstory.
Peter Gabriel, that is my son.
Oh, that's right.
Because my folks from Libya, may have heard of Libya, awesome place. At least my dad's people, they always give the son and the daughter the dad's first name for the middle name. So my name is Gabriel Abdul because my dad is Abdul. So my son is Peter Gabriel because I'm Gabriel. But my daughter's Minnie Gabriella. So that's how
that's another one. What both Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel leaves Genesis, goes on to have this huge career. So had a huge career in Genesis, huge career solo. Same for Phil Collins, was in Genesis and then got huge on his own. But Peter Gabriel, what's that?
Sledgehammer. Come on.
Sledgehammer. Dude, there's so many.
One of the greatest music videos of all time with the stop motion and all the little fruits and all the little things moving. Back when they made music videos that weren't just flapping butt cheeks. The only butt-related song that I will allow is Sir Mix-a-Lot's "Baby Got Back," because it was a joke. It was played it was funny. He wasn't being a pervert. He was being really silly.
But that ass, that was like a 30-foot.
Yes, he's dancing on a 30-foot ass. It's a joke. Clearly, it's a joke.
That shit was too funny.
And then it's in the background of Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Mm-hmm. Remember, he's in the parking lot arguing, and there's an inflatable butt with the Sir Mix-a-Lot stuff written on it.
I can make a meal for quite a long time just off of Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins from the 80s. And I get them, I even to this day, sometimes I get them mixed up because they sound so similar, you know, their songs. But Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins, those are the best, man.
Kara says, brothers, LOL, they didn't have a girls' locker room for that game. We're all veterans. They don't bother me. All right, then. I guess they were all grown.
I'm sure they weren't bothered.
They were all consenting and they were all grown. All right, then.
I'm sure they weren't bothered by your presence either.
It was a little bit like Starship Troopers, where the Marines saw.
Yeah, that was weird. I remember watching that. I was like, I get it. You know, it's a future. It's different. But that was still, still kind of weird.
Listen, you were in the service. with a bunch of young men filled with red blood and urges, they can never have co-ed showers.
No. There's no way in the world
Mm-mm.
that you are going to have nude, youthful individuals and keep it all business. Like, I'm not, nope, we're here to take a shower, shipmate, soldier, whatever. No, hell no.
I'm here to use my 3-in-1 conditioner, shampoo, body wash. I don't know what you're doing.
And that's it. And young lady, if you drop that soap, I will turn away. No,
it hydrates as it moisturizes. This is all business.
That shit would not happen. And I'm also a firm believer, and I believe we talked about this. There's no way in the world that you can be two heterosexual platonic friends.
No, men and women cannot be friends. No. Women can friend zone men. Men can't be friends with women. Women will always argue with you. Men and women can be friends, and it's like, oh, honey, you're so naive.
I have a friend, and we've been friends for years, and he would never. Yeah,
like call him and ask him if he wants to hook up.
I guarantee you,
call him. Right,
guarantee it.
Right,
but he's my best friend. Yeah, okay, brother.
It's just a different. Women just don't. They don't get how we really are, or at least they pretend they don't get it.
I really think they don't.
You really?
I don't. Even our wives that have known us for years and years, they don't know our full male potential. For depravity, they don't know.
I'm sending myself a photo. I'm sending myself a photo because I want everybody knows my daughter Minnie, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is a fantastic comedian. She went up to Los Angeles. We went to Culver City last week. Culver City. That's right where Sony Pictures and Fox are. It's Hollywood, baby. It's not literally Hollywood. This is in front of the Jam in the Van Comedy Club. And my daughter, the great Minnie El Taib. Guys, she kind of won her 5th roast battle in a row.
Damn.
So, yeah. So I think 1 or 2 more, and she's literally the champion for that whatever they're doing there. That it's a tournament of roast battles.
Mm-hmm.
So she will be the champion.
Well, I mean, shit, she got 5. What's 2 more?
Right. I'll tell you one of the jokes. Now, guys, you have to understand. If me and Jericho were punching each other in the face, you'd say, "Oh, how violent!" But if we were in a boxing ring, you'd say, "Man, it makes sense." So roast battles are very, very. It's just like boxing. You don't really mean it when you punch the other guy.
Hold on, say that again. You did what's his name? What was the guy? The video?
Max Headroom.
Yeah, you just did a Max Headroom.
Did I? I love that. I was in 3rd grade when that blew up.
Max Headroom.
I was saying if 2 guys were punching each other, you'd say how violent, but if they're in a boxing ring, you're like, it makes sense. So when you're roasting people, it's like, wow, that's really mean, but you're roasting. That's the point. So she roasted this guy, Dave. I may or may not help her with a joke or 2 here and there. It's really fun to collaborate with her on jokes. And in fact, you gave her some ideas too. She called you or texted you one time. And this is a terrible joke, but it's funny. So David, her opponent, little short Mexican guy. So you go after what they are. You think of the jokes like in the weeks leading up to. You look at them, you look at their social media, you find out stuff, and you come up with like 5 to 7 roasts, and you go back and forth. And then the big shot comedians judge you, and they decide the winner. So here was just one of her jokes. She said, David looks like the kind of guy that could sit on a taquito and tell you if it was chicken or beef. But he's always hoping for chorizo.
Fingers crossed.
That's harsh, but it's very funny. It's very mean, but it's very funny.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Big Baby versus Superman, epic coming in the making. I still say that could happen. Big Baby got to meet Superman. Superman was at the Casa the other day. He was here. My good friend Dino. He was autographing all your comic books. So that's finally all done. He is one of the busiest dudes I've ever met. But he finally got out here to back to Southern California. And he did meet Big Baby. And they loved each other very much. Oh, he met her in the summer, though. They all met. Oh, got a super chat here. Let's check this out. Bob K, MIT. His job went from welding to chasing the woman when they first put them on a ship. Oh, he's talking about being in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, Bob can attest to this. Whenever a new female comes on board, because we were already underway, we were already overseas, and so they fly to the nearest airport, and then the helicopter brings them out to the ship. Or sometimes you'll pull in a port, and then they'll meet you when you're in port. But you talk about some chivalrous, kind, helpful young men.
Oh,
I mean, they step on the ship and it's like,
way.
hey, shipmate, let me get that sea bag for you. What division you in? Oh, where's your berthing? I'll take you down there. Yeah, no problem. I mean, just this professional gentleman like you've never seen. And of course, it wasn't because it wasn't out of the kindness of their own heart. It was out of the kindness of their penis.
Oh,
yeah.
how very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Very unusual. Bob, whenever you send in a super chat on this show, you get one of these. Bob, and I hope you caught all the ladies, all the consenting ladies that you could catch.
Yeah, it's for the males, it's slim pickings, but for the females, like on my ship, they had 70 females and like 750 men. So
there you go. Kara says her best friend is a guy. We're just friends. Well, that's going to be news to him. So.
Oh, Kara.
You have my
no
sweet
idea.
My sweet summer child.
It doesn't matter how many decades you have as friends or years. If you haven't hit the 10-year mark yet, and what you've been through and what you've talked about, and he's been there for me and I've been there for him, and he tells me about all the girls that he's with, and I tell him about my boyfriends, and he gives me advice and blah, 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 blah. All of that. And it's not that he would throw it away. It's just that if you were to call him and say, hey, let's do this or whatever, he's
if
there.
you called him and said that, you'd hear in your driveway.
Hello?
You probably hit the trash can.
You'd say hello, and you hear the echo in his phone from your phone because he would be there.
Right.
Like that.
Here's how you prove it. See, because my wife argued with me about this one day, and I didn't shut her up, but I just proved myself correct. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're right." I said, "We are married. Been married a very long time. What if I had a friend that was a woman and we're just going to lunch, going to movies? Maybe we'll take a little vacation. We'll go to Disneyland for 3 days, me and this other woman, because we're just friends."
Mm-hmm. Or when she comes over. She comes to the house for dinner. Sometimes you guys sit out on the couch and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Go to the movies.
No, we'll have dinner here in your house, honey, without you. Oh, and you'll come home and see the two of us eating at your kitchen table. Because we're just friends.
What's going on?
Now, if Jericho was sitting at the table with me eating a turkey sandwich, my wife would just come in and say, "Oh, hello, Jericho.
Good to see you."
But if Jericho was sitting at the table,
hey, no, it's a hell no.
And that proves it right there that men and women cannot be friends.
No,
goodness,
you're sharing moments that you shouldn't be sharing. Like you're connecting on an intimate level with each other when you're sharing all these personal things. And she's sitting on or let's take a trip. How about that? Let's take a trip. Let's drive. We're going to drive a few hours away together. We'll be back in a few days.
Kara was in the Navy. She never was on a ship in the Navy. She got stationed with Marines at Camp Pendleton in logistics unit. Camp Pendleton is just up the road from me.
Yeah, so you were with a bunch of dogs.
Are they the crayon eaters, or is that the Army? Which one is the crayon?
No, that's a Marine. Marine stands for muscles are required, intelligence not essential.
Okay.
Yeah. Who I gotta kill, boss?
I love how all the branches of the military pick on each other. One of my favorite ones is what everyone calls the Air Force, is the Chair Force.
Yeah, the Air Force. Who really gets it is the Coast Guard, because they have like ships and guns and shit, but they're the Department of Transportation. So we usually call them puddle pirates. But everybody shits on the Coast Guard.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, it's impossible.
Let's share this real quick. The poll of polls, the poll that I'd never come back to during the show usually. If you could go back in time, like Huey Lewis says. I'm just so into Huey Lewis right now. I can't stop listening. Not like American Psycho, though. When he's like, when that's hip to be square, and then he chops that guy to pieces in American
That's probably
Psycho.
my least favorite Huey Lewis song, by the way.
Yeah, it's catchy, but it's like, I don't know, hip and square. Those are weird words. I don't know. If you go back in time, would you use Sports Almanac and bet for money? 25%. 25% of our audience is dishonest cheaters, Jericho. Meet your younger self. 8% of our audience is reflective, intellectual. Invest in Amazon. That's 54. And meet young parents when young. Meet your young parents when they're young. They don't give you so many characters right on here. So yes, indeed, that is people want that cash. They want some of that Jeff Bezos money.
No, I'd
So
definitely be a dirty, rotten cheat. I'm getting that sports almanac and making money. You know something I would do, speaking of sports? If I could go back in time, I would buy up all the domain names for the sports teams and then sell it to them. Like, 49ers.com, Broncos.com, because they don't want it to be no underscores, 794 bullshit.
Can you oh, if you go to Nissan.com, it's not the car company. To this day, it's like a little Japanese guy who opened a website 25 years ago for his Nissan computer repair.
Yeah.
So to go to the Nissan car thing, it's like NissanDriven.com.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably hit him up to buy it from him and shit. But
Yeah.
I would, all the sports teams, yeah, I would buy basketball, baseball, football, hockey, all of them. I'd buy them up because they're probably nothing back then, and then sell it back to them. But if I could go back and get that sports almanac, oh hell yeah.
So we're going to get into Back to the Future too. I never saw Back to the Future until about 3 weeks ago. I've seen bits and pieces here. I knew it was great. It's so much better than I thought, which sounds silly because everyone knows this is a fantastic movie. I don't know how I missed it. This is something my mom would have allowed me to watch when I was little. I don't know. Somehow I missed Back to the Future. We missed it as a family. And it is 40 years later, or 39. I will say it's a fantastic movie, though. I'm late to the party on this one a little bit. And then I watched all 3 of them within a week. I like them all. A lot of people don't like the 3rd one. I don't like it as much, but I don't think it's bad. I hear people say the 3rd one is bad. I don't think it's bad. So
it's not bad. It's just corny.
Well, it's really different because the main character in the 3rd one, spoiler, the main character is Doc Brown and his romance with the lady and all that. And so why did Doc Brown become the main character instead of Marty and what's his name going after each other? I don't know.
And I didn't like the whole romantic angle because there's some romance in the first 2, especially in the first one with his parents getting together. But even they're not the main character.
Right.
But no, it was basically a Doc Brown and that woman movie, and I didn't like that one. Definitely it would go in the order they were made for me as far as favorite to least favorite.
Right. It would be like it's the Back to the Future 3 is the Temple of Doom of Back to the Future movies.
Don't say that. That's bullshit, and you know
it. Think about what you think about. Who talked to me and Jericho and Shant about getting married before he got married. Then he talked to us about being a father before his baby was born. Then last week, I think we had Matthew Marshall on. He said he had to run because I think his wife was going into labor, like during the show or something. Remember? Hello, everyone watching this episode with my newborn son. His name is Winston. He was born on the 27th, 7 pounds, 10 ounces, 86th percentile in height.
Yeah, big old boy.
He's a biggin.
Well, hello, Winston. Dude, he's gonna, with a name like that, like Winston. I mean, the last name's a little long. Winston, think about what you think about. But with a name like that, he's gonna be somebody. And with good parents, good mother and father, he's gonna be all right, man. And don't worry about shit. You got everything you need to bring that baby to adulthood is in you and your wife. You just never needed it before, but you got it. And it's 2 against 1. It's a numbers game. You got this.
And if you're taking time off of work, which you probably are for your child, tune in to our show that releases on this show. It's a recorded show, Jericho. That's not his name.
That's weird.
Jericho and I do, called Datitude. We talk about all the issues of modern relationships and dating, being fathers, businessmen, husbands, all the stuff. And we have a great time. They're 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, but we try to keep them short, in and out. It was Tuesdays and Thursdays. The views weren't great. I switched it to just Mondays. The views have gone up a little, but check that out. You gotta go with the algorithm and see. You got to A/B test with YouTube. So that show might move around a little bit. So I have it just on Mondays for the next 3 weeks. If that starts to pick up, I'll keep it there. But we've already banked nearly 40 of those. So we're weeks ahead on that show. So yeah, Datitude is for all your awesome dad and relationship stuff. Check that out there. And everyone is congratulating. Think about what you think about. Hunch the Dirty Roofer. I was thinking about you today, friend, because I was thinking about doing the show. And I'm like, I haven't seen Hunch in a while. But then I realized that was my fault because I took nearly 2 months off around the new year to finish the Dean Cain comic book. So it's not your fault. Back to the Future 3 is the best bad knockoff sequel of knockoff sequels. Okay, we'll take it.
I'll give it that. But man, it's not my favorite at all. The first 2 are definitely better. And the second one is a little darker than the first one.
The second one gets dark. It gets dark. Back to the Future 3 is the Return of the Jedi of the series. See, this is how I know Hunch is older than me, because I am 45. Return of the Jedi came out in 83. That means I'm 5 years old when Return of the Jedi comes out. It's the only one I remember seeing in theaters. I love Return of the Jedi. Now, Hunch, I'm assuming you're like 10 years older than me, so you'd be a teenager, and I understand why you wouldn't like Return of the Jedi with the Ewoks and all the stuff. I couldn't get enough of Return of the Jedi as a kid. My favorite one is Empire, though. That is my favorite Star Wars movie. Winston Snow is his full name. Well, there you go.
Winston Snow. Oh, man, yeah. Watch out, ladies. Watch out, other infant babies.
Mark's
That's
music
great,
question.
man.
He says no kids or wife for him, nieces and nephews for him. So he hasn't seen a lot of the series. He's talking about Back to the Future, right? No, Datitude.
Get on it. There's still something you can take from that. It's not just about being dads, but being men. And relationships. There's something. Come on, get in here. There's a bomb in there. But there's there's something for everybody. You can get something out of it for sure. And we definitely appreciate your viewership. And congratulations to Mr. Winston Snow for enjoying his first double impact.
Now presenting Mr. Winston Snow.
Winston Snow.
He's making his debut at Society.
In the world. Welcome, young man. Welcome.
And
shout out to Mom, too.
Yeah. Shout out to Mommy. And think about what you think about. Leave her alone for a minute. Just let her recover.
6 weeks, player. 6 weeks.
Give her a break, homeboy.
On that day of the 6 weeks. Be at that bedroom. Just be at the bedroom door.
Right.
Just mark. Have a calendar on the fridge. Just mark red X on all those days and circle that 6 week mark, because then you can get back in the game.
Nicholas Hardick. Is that a real name? You think? Could be.
Hardick.
Could be. If I'm making fun of your name, I apologize. It's just
we've all been there. I mean, come on. I'm sure it was probably annoying in school, but to have your last name be Hard Dick, hey man, it could be.
Hey, it's better than
Soft Dick.
Yeah.
Name's Nick Soft Dick. No man, Hardick is way better.
Datitude topic suggestion: lost nostalgia, like driving movies. I've never been to a drive-in. Never.
Oh, Gabe.
Never.
Gabe, listen.
There's one in San Diego, the Santee Drive-In. We call it Santucky. It's East County, San Diego. That's right.
Listen, Gabe. Get your lady, your bride, get your favorite snacks, get you a good spot. Get there early. Get the good spot, man. Take that truck. You can even go, even if it's nice weather. You can, put the back up to it, put the tailgate down, put some blankets back there, dude. It's great, man. Just to chill.
Looks
and
amazing.
You might get through the movie and you might not, but it's a great experience to go to the drive-in,
man. It's pronounced the dirty way. Oh wow. Dude. Oh wow. Wow.
Oh, that's it. That's it, man. That's your porno movie. Nick Harddick, the dirty way.
Nick Harddick is the equalizer.
Name's Harddick. Nick Harddick. Dude, make sure you introduce yourself like that from now on.
Nick Harddick.
That's the coolest fucking name I've ever heard, man.
Oh,
Name's Harddick. Ooh. So that's
his middle name is really.
And his first name is Nix. 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 You guys got hard dicks, but I got really hard dicks.
Okay.
Cut diamonds.
Uno mas piece of business before we get going. Dean Tate, All-American Lawman. Guys, my garage still has lots of comics, but it doesn't have. Oh, there it is. Hold on. We'll make you big.
Make me big.
Jericho, you've been reading it to your son. Do you love it or do you love it?
Hold on.
Oh, what is this?
Huh?
Dang.
Huh?
Dang. And he's got the
hit you with the triple cover.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. There's even a shout out to me in there. See if you guys can find that when you buy it. Right. But yeah, my son loves it every single night. You know how kids are when they latch on to something, it's every day. So every day, our routine is he brushes his teeth, uses the bathroom. I pick him up, put him on my shoulders, and I carry him down the hall to his room. And when we get to the same spot in the hallway, Dad, you said we're going to read All-American Lawman. And so we go in there to read about 5, 6 pages, depending on how far past his bedtime it is. And he loves it, man. He has a little bookmark puts his bookmark in there. He has a little desk in his room. He sits it on his desk, and we read it. And it's great, man. It's extremely well written.
Thank you.
It's clean. You know, anybody can read it. But if you got a youngster to read it with, it's the fucking best, man. And not only is it a good story and everything, and you as an adult, you're enthralled. The kids love it, but it helps you to make memories, man. I know my son is going to look back on this and say, Dad, remember that comic book we used to read? Remember those comic books we used to read together? So it's great on a lot of different levels, people. And if you don't have it, do two things: slap yourself and then order it.
Now, 1,000%, Jericho, 1,000% zero pressure, negative pressure. The vacuum of space, negative pressure. Can I show the picture you sent me or no?
That's cool. No, that's cool. Go for it. Yeah. That's why I took it the way I took it.
Right.
Go for it.
It's sharing time, guys. Let's. This is a little. We'll call him Jericho Jr. Snuggled up in the bed.
Yep. I sit right there on the bed next to him, and we read it. And to the right, that's where his desk is, and that's where he puts it when we're done. You know, when we come to the stopping point. And there really is no good place to stop. I just have to pick a page. We have to stop because it just, it's going into the next
breakneck speed. I do write that way where it's just let's go.
Yeah, like, it's not. There's no good place to stop. I just have to put my foot down and say, all right, one more page.
Right.
But it's great, man. And
I do write these things like Mad Max or Terminator 2, where it's like, it's not a chase scene, but it's going the whole time. I just keep the action going because here's a little inside baseball on comic books. My philosophy, since these are not moving pictures, I have to keep it as action packed as possible, because if we start getting talking heads, oh boy, you're just drawing heads in a comic book, so there's plenty of talking, great dialogue to explain all, but we keep it moving. So here's a tiny writer's trick. Go ahead, Jerk. I'll explain the writer's trick in a second, but go ahead.
It's not really a spoiler, but there are scenes that take place in an office where he's talking, when Tanaka is talking to somebody that's like the brass. But even those scenes, are exciting, and there's a good pace to them. So there's no good place. There's no lull in the story where you can pick a stopping point. If you have to, like if you're reading it to a kid at bedtime, like I am. But it's great, man.
Yeah, awesome. I'm so happy. And guys, here's the thing. This is my website live right now, where you can still get it. We still have some in stock, but look it. If you go to buy cover A right now, it says right here. I'll highlight it. 16 in stock. It's we're gonna sell out of this first print, and then when they're gone, they're gone. I'll print more in the future for sure, but they're not going to be the first print. So this is it. I printed thousands, but we're running low on these. I got an email. My website is set up to email me to alert me when these are getting low. So I got an email about cover B today. Let's see how many are left. I told it to 20 in stock. So there's 20 of that. There is one cover or two that has like 100 or something left. Let's see. Let's just see what this says here.
But even that's not a lot.
No, we have 71 of cover C. So guys, these are going, and that's going to be it. The art book gone. We still got the t-shirts and all that. I packed a bunch of those and sent those today. But and there's Dean in that shirt, and look at me. That's right, baby.
And I got one in my closet. I didn't wear mine, but I do. I have 3 of them.
That's right.
And again, those of us who are here, yes, we're here for the action movies and the review and everything, but I like to think we're pretty much like-minded. So if you're sick of the garbage, you're sick of the bullshit, you're sick of all the weird stuff, you're sick of them jamming sex and weird deviant shit into everything, and everything's woke, and down is up and up is down, and everybody's white is racist, everybody who's a person of color is a victim. If you're sick of that and you want to turn the tide, and you want something that's A+ quality and entertainment, and you want to support that, here is your opportunity. You're the horse. We brought you to the water. What you gonna do?
Yeah, this water ain't gonna drink itself.
And
that
made me think of something else.
Yeah, I know. Here's a little behind the scenes, just because I love you guys. Look at my tricep looking good there. I've lost weight, buddy. I was 300 in the summer when you met me.
Yeah, it's cast in a shadow.
Look at that. I'm proud of that. I worked my tries today. I blasted them. It was chest and tries, shoulder day. And I'm still working out, even though I'm packing bucks. So Dean was here Monday. signing a corjillion books. I signed them last week before he got here, so we wouldn't be signing at the same time. It was awesome. He's a gentleman. He's always a treat to hang out with. We went out to lunch. We had a great lunch, got him back on the plane, and he got to meet Big Baby. So it was awesome. Oh, but he met Big Baby last summer.
Mm-hmm.
But,
so it was a reunion.
Yeah, but if you ever get the chance to hang out with him, he's 100% who you see online, offline. Same dude, genuine, generous, kind, thoughtful, very intelligent, and so happy to be partnered up with him. You know what I mean? Very happy. So guys, if you haven't bought it yet, there are only 17 of the cover.
What are you doing?
Yeah, really, for real, guys. So please go get it right now if you haven't got it yet. I will really appreciate it. I love it. But more than that, you'll love it. You'll love it. You'll be so entertained. 100% of the people that have posted to me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they love it. It's really, really well written and beautifully illustrated. I want to show you one more thing, and then we will get to Back to the Future 2, I promise. So in this book, I won't explain it because it's a fun moment. I don't want to spoil it, but I came up with this idea where we could tie in a little bit of, business, commercialism with a little bit of the fun of the story. And I won't explain how, but at some point in the story that's a little significant, he ends up buying this shirt. He ends up buying this shirt from a tourist stall. And then after so the book had been on sale for 3-4 months and we didn't have it. And then I realized, you know what? We should just make that shirt. So I gave the shirt to Dean when he was here. I gave him a bunch of comics, for free for him, his share of a bunch of books. He's going to sell them at conventions, give them to his family, stuff like that. But then I gave him the shirts. I said, you got to get dressed up and take a picture in the shirt. You know what I mean? And he was telling me he was so happy. He was thrilled. It was like, isn't this neat? Here's what he was telling me. It's like this. We got this thing in the book and now here it is in real life. That's I don't know. Neat is the only word I can think of. So, yeah. So 8:47, no movie. Listen, Mark. We're taking care of business right now.
Hey, don't be a prick.
Yeah.
Don't be a prick, Mark.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we want to do more stuff, Carol. We're growing slowly. We're growing. Actually, we're growing a little faster than slow. We're not growing slowly. We're growing pretty fast, so it's awesome. Let's see. Look at this. Scott Gelano. Right? Gelano.
Gelano.
Hey, thank you, Scott. I really, really appreciate it.
Preach.
All right. And Jericho.
Hey, Kara, why don't you have your best friend buy you one on a hoodie?
Yeah. All right, then, guys. So, yeah, go to bigmancomics.com. Get Dean Cain All-American Lawman. There are just a few of the first printings left, and that's it. I have covered A, B, C, no D. The foil covers are not up there right now. E, and then my cover, the Gabe cover, and then the shirts, and that's all I have up right now. So we have big plans. We're doing more with this, and I won't say anything else. We're doing a lot more with it, though. So let's go back. Let's go back, Jericho.
And what'd you notice in this scene? Because this is the opening scene. What did you notice different? I
noticed that it was a different woman playing his girlfriend.
Yep.
And they had to refilm all of it from the ending of the first movie because that woman that originally played it, her mother got deathly ill and she had to quit acting for a while to take care of her. I don't know if her mom died at the time, but her mother got very sick and she couldn't be there. And this is the imaginary girlfriend of many of us of my age, from Karate Kid, and other great movies. The great Elizabeth Shue, very beautiful.
Yep,
she's got that girl next door thing happening. Literally. So. And
what a great replacement,
right?
I mean, it's very unfortunate that happened to the first lady, but yeah, Elizabeth Shue, she's another classic, iconic '80s figure. Karate Kid. I'll be honest, I didn't really like Karate Kid.
What?
There, I said it. I did not like Karate Kid, but she was in it. She's easy to look at, so that was fun.
Real quick, Jericho, I'll let you take this one. Think about what you think about the father of Winston Snow. What cover should I get, Gabe? I mean, me as the guy selling them, the Arab half, and he says, "Get them all." But what would you recommend, Jericho?
I would say my favorite cover is this one with the James Bond white tuxedo jacket. So I would recommend this one.
I believe that's cover E, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, then how about this? Bam.
Cover C. Cover C is pretty damn good.
And you know what? You can read this to baby Winston. Kids, it's great for kids for you to read to them, no matter, even if they're newborn or whatever. So, yeah, you can still read it to them. And read it again when he gets older and say, I used to read this to you when you were a little teeny, when you were this big. I was that small? Yeah, you were this big. So, yeah, man, you can get 2 readings out of that bad boy.
Right. Real quick. And these will go. Brandon is in the chat. The great Brandon Clark. Are you guys gonna do Red Dawn? We already did Red Dawn. Didn't we do? I know we did it with Patrick Swayze, and we did that, right?
I wasn't here for that one. That's probably before me.
Okay, that might have been before you.
But
we could
but
do
yeah,
it again.
definitely the original, the remake.
Here's the thing: John Milius, the director, he's very old now and stuff. But I work with the San Diego gun owners. They do gun rights and all. I should put me back on the screen with you.
Yeah, I was like,
I work with San Diego gun owners. I speak at their symposiums and all that about gun rights and culture. They always have me talk about that. And they are friendly with Amanda Milius, the daughter of John Milius, the director. She's very based, very pro Second Amendment. And I've never spoken to her. I don't know her, but I'm going to try and reach out to her somehow. You know what I mean? That'd be great to talk to her about her father's work in Red Dawn. Didn't he also direct other great things that we love? I'd have to look it up, but it's going to hit me in the head like it's. I don't think it's Die Hard, but it's things like that. It's huge. Did he direct Rocky?
Ooh.
What did he direct? American screenwriter and film director. What in the world? I know he directed.
No,
huge.
John Avildsen directed Rocky.
What did he do besides Red Dawn that's huge? I know he did a lot of other things. Oh, you may have heard of a movie called Apocalypse Now. No, he was a writer of that. Conan the Barbarian. There it is.
The Lamentations of You Women.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. The star of that movie too.
Maybe. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm gonna try and reach out to my friends that know Amanda. They have her on their gun owners radio program. See if I can finagle a little something.
That'd be cool. And speaking of Hollywood, showing enough to kick it.
Wasn't he great
last week? Yeah,
fantastic guy. Matthew Marsden was the guest last week. He told me that he could only stay for a little bit, and then we did 3.5 hours. Because the conversation was so good. You know what impressed me most? You know what impressed me most about Matthew?
Mike Tyson.
How smart he is. Because I didn't think he was dumb or anything, but you just assume you don't assume people are almost really feel like a genius when you're talking to him. And listening to him talk is like, oh my God, this guy's very insightful. Very
very well read.
Yeah.
Worldly in a good way. You know, growing up in the UK and coming over here, not only being an actor, but a pop star. So that's pretty amazing to be big.
Beyonce was his backup singer. So
Destiny's Child. So it's crazy to meet somebody and talk to somebody who was big in two different arenas of entertainment. So I was talking to him, we're emailing back and forth. I'm hoping to get him on my channel, Green's House, to sit down and talk to him, because we were just talking about life and experience and fatherhood and family and all that stuff. But I hope to talk to him about, some of his movies. He was in Rambo 4. That was my favorite that he's been in. Transformers, you might have heard of that.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, and being a pop star. I'm talking girls passing out, singing in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Bona fide pop star.
Yeah.
Singer. And a soap opera star too. So TV, music, and movie star.
Right. He was on Coronation Street, which is a soap opera that has been on in England since 1960. It has over 11,000 episodes. Now, he was not on it for all those years, but he said it was mental when he was on that. Those were his words. He couldn't walk down the street when he was on that. He said in a nation of 50 million, Great Britain, 20 million people a week watch that show. Can you imagine, dude?
Damn.
Insane.
That's almost half the population.
Right.
And every week. So they feel like they know you. They definitely know what you look like. But he did say that being a singer was a little more crazy, a little more mental as far as the fans, the fanatics, when it came to music. And he was, young man. It was the late 90s that he was singing. So I can just imagine, the bedlam that he caused on the stage and then on the street, if they saw him. So yeah, I want to.
This kind of stuff where women are passing out at concerts and falling down.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it, just maybe not on his scale. Well, on a pretty big scale. When I was at the radio station, I was a DJ there. We had some pretty big stars coming through, and the women, they just lose it. I don't know, something happens to them.
Yeah,
but
when they become feral, like an animal.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like you
I
can't.
told you I saw that at the Aquaman movie premiere when I was standing by Jason Momoa. I saw a pack of women, like they didn't seem human anymore. They were like more animal than woman.
You can't, ladies, you can't say that men, we're animals or whatever, and we may be. Yes, we are, but you guys
Not
get
like
pretty
that.
fucking crazy too. I
Not
mean,
like that.
whoa, get a hold of yourself, lady.
Yeah,
but that shit was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, so we're ready to rock here. They replaced the original actress with Elizabeth Shue because something happened to the mother of the first one. But we pick up right where we left off last time. They're in the front of the house. Marty McFly just got his awesome truck. And you know what trucks were like in the 80s. Bigfoot was a celebrity in the 80s. People wanted those little Toyotas with the KC lights and all that.
Yeah, lifted, black on black, the KC lights. I mean, yeah, it was the vehicle that everybody wanted. And it starts with, she's like, Marty, what? He's like, oh, Jennifer. And she's like, what's wrong? You act like you haven't seen me in a week. And he's like, well, I haven't, because she's not hip to what was going on. And then Doc Brown shows up. Marty, great Scots, we have to go to the future. And, shit's fucked up. And he has to bring her with him because he can't leave her there with the information she has, knowing there's a fucking time machine. So she has to come along for the ride. And they're going to 2015. And what was cool is in 2015, when we hit the year that this movie, that they went to in the future, it was cool to, there's a ton of shit where people were looking at what they thought 2015 was going to be like, and then what it was actually like. And as a kid, you think the year 2000, oh man, there's going to be robots and flying cars, and our food's going to be in pills and all this shit. And no, it wasn't anything like that. Now we're 24 years past that, and there ain't a damn car in the sky.
And he says, I remember they're about to speed off here, and Marty's saying, we don't have enough road to get to 88 miles an hour because that's the speed the time machine has to hit before it can teleport. And he's like, well, we're going, Marty. We don't need roads.
Yeah, roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Right. That's a great one.
And then there's...
Go ahead. Oh, I was going to address this real quick. Hey, Gabe, I heard that California's going to try and do another recall on Gavin Newsom. Is that true? I've heard that too.
But isn't that piece of shit coming to the end of his term anyway?
Yeah, he's timed out on being a governor. He can't be a governor anymore. So
yeah, and if it didn't work then, it ain't gonna work now. I've lost all hope in the California.
Just wait till he's your president in the 2024 election. They pull Biden out and replace Gavin Newsom, and the American populace is so dumb. They see his American Psycho, good looks and slicked hair, and and they elect him.
The women's vagina is going to do that to us. Penelope is going to elect Gavin Newsom as president because that's who gave us him as a governor too. Ladies and men who are basically ladies. That's how we got him in the first place. Oy vey. But
I'm not leaving, damn it. I'm not leaving.
No,
not yet. Maybe I will.
And then, so this also picks up, look at that Adidas tracksuit. But at the end of the first one, things were different because he went to the past and changed. His parents got together and stuff, and he punched Biff. So now instead of Biff being his dad's boss and being an asshole and coming into his house, going in his refrigerator, and then telling Marty, tell your mom I said hi. I'll tell your mom hi for me. The shoe's on the other foot. George McFly is the man. Biff's his little lackey, and he's waxing his car and shit. But then he sees Marty and Jennifer and Doc getting that time machine. So now he knows there's a time machine, and that's when shit gets twisted.
Right. I wonder why you would just do the time machine right in the middle of the street in front of everybody.
Yeah, somebody's going to see that, Doc.
So they go to the future because Doc Brown has told Marty, you got to go there. There's a problem with your children. You and good old Elizabeth Shue here. There's a problem. So we're going to go to Hill Valley. And Goldie Wilson is the mayor. Now, remember Goldie Wilson was he was the gentleman of color in the 1950s diner who said he was going to be the mayor someday. And the guy told him, a colored mayor? Yeah, right. So is this Goldie Wilson? This is Goldie Wilson Jr.
Goldie Wilson the third.
Oh, Goldie Wilson the third.
And this is what, 88 or 89 this came out? So you honestly thought that this is what 2015 was so far away at the time, it was ridiculous. So you thought, yeah, it's going to be like this. Everything, flying cars, and the clothes are going to be cool. And the next scene, you see his shoes. Those are Nike Air Mags, and they actually made Air Mags. You can get like the real ones that are like $50,000, or they have some cheaper ones that are maybe, I don't know, a few $100, few thousand. But they do this. They lace up. You just put your feet in them. I don't know if there's a button or whatever, but it laces up for you on your feet. And it's a really cool design. Like they nailed the design. The shoe does look futuristic. Even to this day, even if you made a movie now that was 50 years in the future from now, that was like 2074, 75, those shoes would be like, yeah, those are great futuristic shoes. And they look pretty cool.
You see the price at the bottom there? There's different ones. I'm not sure what it is, used and new. This is some shoe nerd website. 28,000, 17,000, 45, 29, and 27,000. So you were not kidding. That was a lot of damn money for some shoes.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And who is it? That rapper, The Game, he had a pair of them, and he was overseas and he was watching on his ring cam somebody break into his house and steal a bunch of stuff, and they stole those shoes. He had a pair of Air Max that were 50 grand and they stole them.
Jeez.
I mean, the great shoes, but I couldn't justify. I mean, you could spend 28, like that one price is 28,000 or 17,000. Are you going to wear them? Are you going to wear like $28,000 sneakers?
No.
It's just stupid.
So when I saw this movie, I really got into it. So I went all over Wikipedia and I read and watched interviews. And the writers said when they wrote the first movie, they wrote this ending. They had no intention of making a sequel. They didn't know if it was going to be a hit or not or whatever. So when they said, you got to come to the future, Marty, you and your kids, the two of you, your kids are in trouble. They just wrote that as an ending. So now that they were making parts 2 and 3, they filmed those at the same time, back to back. They said they had written themselves into a corner and they didn't want to take the girlfriend into the future. And that's why when they go into the future, they put her to sleep and leave her in an alley while they're going to go do what they do.
Because nothing could go wrong. A beautiful young woman unconscious in an alley, but she'll be fine.
She'll be totally fine.
She'll be okay.
Nah, just knock her unconscious and lay her here in an alley.
Yeah, because when I go somewhere and I don't want my wife to go, I just render her unconscious and I leave her in an alley. And she's always there perfectly fine when I come back.
Right. Remember, I left my bike hidden behind a fence at a 7-Eleven, and it wasn't a see-through fence. It was a wall. It was a stucco wall because I was going to ride the city bus somewhere. So I left the bike, got on the city bus, went where I was going to go for like a couple hours, came back, someone stole my bike.
Piece of shit.
So that's what you get. The things we do for girls in high school.
Mm-hmm. Anything.
I was riding the bus to a girl's house that was too far to ride my bike to.
Do anything for them.
So, yeah. Was it worth it? I don't know. You tell me. So, lost my bike.
Well, you remember, so it must have been.
Yeah, I didn't like that bike. It was a 10-speed. I hated it. I had a BMX bike before that, and then I got a 10-speed, and I hated it.
Oh, BMX. Mongoose. I had a Mongoose bike.
I had a black and gold BMX, you know? Yeah. So the reason he's been brought to the future by Doc Brown is his son, Marty McFly Jr., was arrested for theft.
Mm-hmm.
So he did something with Biff. They did something really stupid and they get in trouble. So the whole point of bringing Marty here is like, you got to go in there and stop your son from doing this shit, whatever it is.
From agreeing to go, and it wasn't Biff. It was Griff or something like that.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Biff's, I guess, grandson.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Biff's grandson.
Right.
And he's a piece of shit, just like Biff was, just a futuristic version. A bit more of a rapscallion. Like he's more of a thug than Biff was. You know, Biff, he was more like your classic bully and, 50s, why are you giving me the business? That kind of guy. But Griff is like a real dangerous asshole, and his gang, of course.
Yeah, and they're cybernetic gang. So it does kind of then and I think a thing you have to understand, this movie came out in like 89, and then the third one comes out in 90, and they came out like 6 months apart. They were set up to come out that way. And you have to understand, in 1989, yes, the internet existed, but no one had it. I think only military and universities and stuff used it, and not university students and stuff. I think like professors could send each other like sending an email was like a heart attack for the internet back then. It was, the data transfer was very slow. So internet, computers were not part of our lives in 1989. Some people had computers, but they were, those green screen whatevers. So to think about the future and the self-tying shoes and the hover skateboard, and he's going around that clock tower square from the first movie, but now it's all redone, right? It's all futuristic. Yeah. And it says Jaws 19, that's what they're saying. The Jaws movie's on the 19th sequel. And it's a 3D hologram of Jaws comes out to bite him while he's standing there. For those of you that are young, you don't understand how wild this was and how much kids were talking about this at school. Everyone was talking about the self-tying shoes, the hoverboard, the 3D shark. It was just completely insane.
I remember dreaming about getting a hoverboard. That was
Oh,
the coolest shit in the world to have a hoverboard.
how
You don't touch
disappointed were
the
you when you
ground.
woke up? How disappointed were
Oh,
you?
I was so pissed. But I believed that they existed. You know, maybe I couldn't get one or afford one, but I figured they were like real. Like I wanted a hoverboard. That shit was crazy, man. What a great movie.
Oh, yeah, but we just can't put it in reference for you guys what the futurism of this movie felt like back then. You know, we were still very much in the same world as our parents from the 50s and 60s, like TV, radio. Our cars had roll down windows with the handle on them, like it was just the technology just wasn't there yet, you know.
Yeah, and
So
the car door still weighed 575 pounds.
right. See, and None the Miser says about AOL and no, Bob and None the Miser, you're both off. You're still off by like 15 years here. AOL dial-up and all that is nothing to do with the 80s. That's
Oh
like
yeah,
that's way later. That's literally
90s.
like yeah, that's the 90s, and it's a different world. This is very much, I'm telling you, the 80s was very, very similar to the 70s and the 60s and all that. It was, as far as technology and all that goes.
I mean, look at 20 years in the past. That's 2004. That was 20 years ago. 20 years before this was 1969. Like
Right.
we were still in Vietnam.
Right.
Martin Luther King had just been assassinated the year before that. We were 6-7 years away from the Kennedy assassination. Like
Right.
fucking 20 years before this was a long time ago. This was mind blowing. The clothes that people were wearing, the cars, and the futuristic cars are always like the rims were always like no definition. They were like round,
Right.
like almost like a cap on them. But this was cutting edge, futuristic technology, and the holograms and shit. This movie was more than a movie.
You know what's wild is I went to the Sphere in Las Vegas, the MSG Sphere. It's a new building.
Ooh, I want to check that out.
It's over like 300. Well, maybe you'll get a chance soon. It's over 300 feet tall, and it's the entire outside of it is an LCD screen or LEDs. And so just playing images and has faces on it sometimes. And inside there's like a 3D theater, like it's around you, the theater. It's huge, a huge stadium theater. And I went and watched the movie they have there. It's a nature and space movie. It's kind of a sci-fi nature world movie. It's kind of interesting, a little woke though. And but inside the lobby, and it's a huge lobby, like a huge lobby, you know, like 4 or 5 stories tall to the ceiling. You're in a big open area. There's AI robots there, and you can literally talk to them. They look at you, they move, they don't walk around, but you can actually talk to them. It's using large language learning models, and it does talk to you like Chat GTP or anything else like that. And they're actually floating holograms in this thing. So we're now in Back to the Future. They're literal. I have some pictures of it. I'd have to dig them out of my phone, but I went there with my wife in November on our wedding anniversary. It was fantastic. And I talked to the AI robot. I should have told you guys this. And and they let you wait, and there's a crowd of people, and the host, there's someone working there at the Sphere. Like, do you want to talk to the robot? You, sir, you. I said, I'll talk to it. I'm not shy. And I asked the robot, so you've met a lot of people from all over the world. Like, what's the furthest that somebody's come from that you've met? And the robot says, well, I've met people from Ukraine and China and Japan, and I'm unsure what the person is from the furthest country. And then the robot literally asked me, it said, where are you from? I said, San Diego. I said, well, you don't win the contest of coming from the furthest. So it actually cracked a joke at me, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fascinating, though. But yeah, there's a whole science expo in the Sphere to talk to. And there's a couple AI robots you can talk to. There's some sound demonstration. They have some pretty cool food. The Sphere, I give it like a 7 out of 10 because I didn't like the movie. The movie was fantastic, like beautiful, well-filmed sound, everything. But the message was woke. Mother Earth and humans are the worst thing ever, polluting it, and we've got to take care of it. It's more of that left-wing, like guilt trip bullshit.
Yeah.
So
on your way out, please donate to blah 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 to save the world.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a moralizing and lecturing. But the Sphere, check it out. If you get to Vegas, go check it out.
Well, we're 9 years past this, and like Gabe said, we're in it, and man, just you had to be there. You had to be around during this time to watch this movie to get the full effect, man. It really was crazy to see this shit, and at the time, it looked pretty real. Like we look back at it now, and that hologram shark, it looks corny, but at the time, you were just like, "Oh shit, man, this is wild." And again, the hoverboard. That's all I wanted.
Okay, I found one. I'm going to show you some of that Sphere stuff real quick. I found the Sphere and I found the AI robot. Okay, sorry, I was just digging for those. That's why that photo thing opened up on my computer. So here's if you look in the background behind me, my wife, that silver gray robot, that's the robot I was talking to. You know what I mean? And then here, I was going up an escalator, and I think I got a video of the hologram that was floating in there. Let's see. And it was much clearer than that in real life. It's a little grainy here on the camera phone, but it looked amazing. You know, it really looked amazing. And it kept changing and moving and had all kinds of interesting imagery. It was really cool.
I just like those robots. I just think because I saw a clip the other day where it was one of those robots, and some nerd somewhere was putting it through its paces, walking and doing all this dexterity stuff. And he put his finger in the robot's face, and the robot like moved back. And I just can't help but think these things are going to turn on us. These fucking things are going to turn on us, and they're going to kill us. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's us being from the era we're in before there was anything like this. I don't fucking trust them. But there's a whole, especially the newer generation, they're probably going to have robots in their house, like doing Jetsons type shit, doing chores and helping around and stuff. I just don't fucking trust them. Oh
yeah, Chat GTP, it's very useful for asking questions. I've asked it how to fix things and problem solving on my computer. Like, hey, if I'm having trouble loading XYZ, blah blah blah, and it like told me, and it was correct. But I've seen instances, and it's done it to me. Chat GTP literally lies to you and makes up shit, and then you tell it that never happened. Joe Montana wasn't the Cowboys quarterback. It's like, I'm sorry, that was a mistake. And I wonder if the engineers know where that comes from. I have a theory where that comes from, why it lies to people sometimes. Because they train it on, trillions and trillions of examples of human speech and talking, right? Well, human beings lie. So it's just, its language model is like humans. It lies too. So
it's probably programmed by some nerd that don't know shit about football. Like, oh, Joe Montana, he played for the Cowboys, right? Probably some shit like that.
Did he play third base for the Cowboys?
I mean, just imagine coming downstairs and your robot's its eyes are red now. You're not going anywhere. It's been programmed to like, oh, fuck that.
What about the nerds that want the robo girlfriends?
That's always the first thing they make.
But you've seen them like on the news, right? The ones that look like a real woman and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always the first thing they make. They're gonna make something they can do gross shit to.
Where would you keep that thing in your house, your robo girlfriend?
I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of charging station for it or something like that.
Can you imagine you go to your buddy's house and you're like, what's that?
Yeah, it's all dirty. Like, you didn't even clean it off. What the fuck? Or, hey, give me a minute. I'll be there in a second.
Oh. Yeah.
It's too fucking weird, dude.
No. I remember seeing it. Some special. I don't know if it was HBO. I saw it on the internet like 10 years ago. I think it was HBO. And they interviewed the guy that makes those. And it's here in San Diego, like the main headquarters factory where they make those robo women dolls. So
that's so weird, man.
Disturbing, dude. That's just bizarre.
You are so handsome. Ooh, you turn
Jericho,
me on.
You are so funny, Jericho.
Want to bend me over? Use all my holes. What?
Yeah, that's just terrible.
Humans are so disgusting. We are so fucking disgusting. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the future we do not want.
So Doc Brown told Marty, go to this diner, order a Pepsi. Griff's going to come in, tell him you're not going, bring your ass back here. That's all he was supposed to do. This is supposed to be a 10-minute trip to 2015. But Biff, this is the actual Biff, he sees him, and that's kind of throws everything off and makes him miss things and all that kind of stuff. So Biff screws it all up for sure. Still, Biff is still messing it up. And then, this is cool. So they're playing this old, at the time it was a current game. Can't remember what it was called, but it's like, the duck hunt, they got the gun with the cable connected to the arcade game. And those futuristic kids are like, man, how does this thing work? And of course he's from that time. So he goes, oh, I'm a crack shot. Watch this. So you're like, being that you're living in that time, you're like, oh yeah, that shit's cool. That's probably what I would do. And then you see in the background, there's Griff and his gang coming in.
Right. And do you know who this little boy is right here? Do you recognize him?
It's like Steve Buscemi, but I know it's
No,
not him.
it's Frodo. That's Elijah Wood. That's Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And that's another thing. Biff, he has this cane with a fist on it, a metal fist, and he keeps knocking on his head. Hello, McFly, and he's like, oh, stop. Like, man, if you knocked on my head with a fist on a cane, I'm gonna knock your ass out, you old bastard. Like, I'll give you a little leeway because you're an old man, but who the fuck would sit there and let somebody go, hello, like knocking on your head with a metal fist? Nah, man. I'm doing a double leg takedown right here in this diner, you old bastard. I'm breaking your hip.
And this gun thing, he's shooting cowboys on this video game here, and it's an 80s nostalgia cafe, by the way. We didn't say that, but this gun thing, that comes into play in the third movie. It does. But you see that hypercolor hat with all the iridescent colors all over it? I'm telling you guys, even in 1989, that was a big deal, that hat. That's how low tech we were in 1989. Yeah. You have to understand. Like, there was a computer in the 80s, very famous computer called the Commodore 64. That is 64 kilobytes of memory. Now, for reference, if you open Word and you write a page or two and you save it, look at the size of that file. It'll be like 64 kilobytes, right? It'll be like 50, 60. Imagine your entire computer. That's all the memory it has. One Word document.
That's it.
That's what we were working with back then. That's how low tech it was compared to now. So,
but we didn't need it.
No, we didn't.
We didn't need that bullshit. No. The disconnection, because everybody's connected. Everybody can share. This is what I ate. Blah, blah. This is what I think. I like that disconnection.
It was nice. We talked about it plenty. We talked about it on our other show, Datitude. But the scarcity of things makes them more valuable. The fact that everything is ubiquitous now. Everything. You can have anything, anywhere, anytime. It ultimately makes life unsatisfying.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was. I think it was a comic. But he said there was a time where we didn't know anything. Like, there was a time where you just went without knowing something. And unless you bumped into somebody who knew, or you knew somebody who knew, or knew whatever, or you didn't read it, you just didn't know. That's it. You didn't know. And everybody was fine. Michael
Coulter, Gabe and Jericho Green, y'all are awesome. Thank you. If you're looking to invest your money in DJT stocks. This is not financial advice from me or Michael Coulter. Neither of us are professional stock advice givers. It's just, it's not professional advice, YouTube. But yeah, Donald J. Trump, his Truth Social stock, they tried to ruin him. Those people, the people going after him. And they made him like one of the richest men in the world. Like, he went way up his value.
Yeah, they made him like $3 billion more dollars. And people, it's funny that people say, Biden called him broke Don.
They tried that for a day, and then the next day he made like $5 billion.
Yeah, he put up $175 million bond. If that's broke, I want to be broke my whole life.
Right.
To be able to put up $175 million and not miss a beat. Come on, man.
Oof. So anyway, he has a confrontation with Griff in here inside the 50s diner. Now, what you have to understand is his son and him were both in the 50s diner at the same time, or the 80s diner in the 80s.
His grandson.
Is it his grandson?
Yeah.
It's Marty McFly Jr.
No. That's Biff's grandson.
Oh, no. Yeah. I meant the Marty McFly is the son of Marty.
Yeah. And he's a total, hey, I'm sorry, guys. He's the futuristic version of his grandpa, George McFly. Just the nerd who and his sleeves on his jacket are all long and they're hanging down, and he's just a sloppy, nerdy pussy mess.
Ugh.
And Marty's like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Like, and he ends up, Griff picks up Marty Jr. and throws him over the counter. And so he's like kind of out of it. So then Marty McFly.
They kind of do a switcheroo. Marty Sr. pops up from behind the counter, Griff not knowing the son is knocked out down there.
And he steps to him. He's not scared of him. And he steps to him. He's like, I'm not going, you piece of shit.
Right. And it's a parallel. It's a mirror image of the first Back to the Future movie, where the dad is a coward and he's picked on by the original Biff from the 50s. Mm-hmm. And George McFly, the father of Marty, he's like, oh, okay, boss. And he's just rolling over and being a coward. And then in the future, Marty Jr., so he's in the middle, his dad, his son, they're both wussies. And he's here in the middle, like, what's wrong with you two? So I thought that was an interesting, like, dichotomy there. and he stands up to Griff and his group of Mad Max themed. Are they cyborgs? Because you hear like sometimes when they move, and it's like, do they have power suits, or I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's like his boots or something like that. But and that bat, it's short and then it gets all long and shit.
Right.
But I like how they, kind of what they think the future is going to be like with the fashion and stuff. And I think they nailed it.
Well, yeah, I think they nailed it because everyone complains that baseball bats are just too long. Tired of trying to store your baseball bat? Well, get Extendo Bat.
Yeah.
From Whammo.
This shit is great, man. What a great movie.
So he fakes these four out by going, I think he's used this trick a few times. He's all, look over there. And then he hits him. And then he runs.
Knocks them all down and shit. And they're like, hey. And then he sees these girls and they have like the little handle on there because they're just learning and stuff. And he gets it. And of course, that reminds him of a skateboard that he's a pro on back in, back home or back in 1989. So he breaks the little handle off of there and does this thing. Shrapnel, early happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday at midnight, Shrapnel.
Yeah, we're the same age. I'll be 44 in November.
All right.
So I'm right there with you, man.
Look at the new father here, getting body with the jokes.
Hey, man, you got 6 more weeks to go.
All right.
Or actually, you got 5 weeks. Count down. Then you can make that short.
He's going to have done like 3 ships in a bottle and like reorganized everything in the house. He's got a lot of energy.
The garage is going to be straight. The grass is going to be out there cutting the grass with scissors. Reorganize shit. I clean this. I fix that. I fix that old rickety, the knob on the banister. It's a Wonderful Lifestyle. Like he's done all that shit. Just waiting.
And then the day of, it's
good.
It's just like
it's gonna be over, man.
Just like touching a balloon with a needle.
Yeah. So you're like, so you ready to? It's gonna be like that, man. But it's gonna be great. And here's one more thing before we get back to this. I'm gonna give you some real life, some real shit right here. Think about what you think about. No bullshit. Because you're not gonna have that intimacy for 6 weeks, there's gonna be this weird kind of almost like the first time again. It's gonna be weird because
like the first time. A little Bryan Adams in here.
Yeah, if that'll help. Put on the Pride of Canada in the background, but it's going to be, you guys are going to have to reconnect is what I'm saying, because everything's going to be about this baby in a good way. It needs you. It needs you a lot. So that's going to take up all of your focus and your time. So it's going to be this kind of unfamiliarity about each other, this reconnection that's going to take place. But once you reconnect, once you guys do it, pick up where you left off, man.
Right. And enjoy every second of it. Don't miss anything because what do they say? The days are long, but the years are fast, my friend.
I'm telling you right now, your wife's going to take 750 pictures of that baby. That's not an exaggeration. And you're going to look back on this and you're going to be like, man, he was that small. I don't even remember that. You're not even going to remember some of these moments, man. So soak it up. I know he's going to cry and wake you up 3 times in the middle of the night, but find the joy in that, man. Find the joy in spending time with your son, even though it's 2:30 in the morning and you're tired as hell. This
feels like yesterday, but this was December 5th. Bought Big Baby her ears on her birthday at Disneyland. She shares a birthday with Walter Elias Disney.
So, it's a trip, man.
I think she's the chosen one. She's going to grow up, be an artist like me, and she's going to get into Disney. She's going to take it over and unwoke it.
She's going to fix it.
She's the savior.
She's going to fix it. But yeah, man, it's a trip. And what's weird is they won't remember this. The kid, they will have, even Big Baby, she's, going on 2. She's not going to remember any of this. And you're going to remember so much of it. Man.
All of it. Yeah.
It's great.
Right. Michael Coulter, he's weighing in on the Robo Girlfriends, the disgusting, degenerate Robo Girlfriends. A robot girlfriend, please give me the real thing.
But you know what, Michael? That robot girlfriend has a silent setting.
Now, now hold on. Now, what if these robot girlfriends were made in Mexico and they were Latina robot girlfriends? They can make chilaquiles, huevos rancheros.
Mm-hmm.
They might, they might convince me to wonder about it.
Yeah, and they won't ask you, what are you thinking about?
Oh, geez.
So, or when you go, you can go, you ain't seen your buddy in 3 months. What'd you guys talk about? Nothing.
None.
But didn't he get a divorce or something? No, we didn't talk about it.
And a rinse cycle. Let's go in for a sexist joke, nonetheless. Now, this is not my joke. I don't know where I heard it, but I love it. Why do women wear white on their wedding day?
To hide the stains.
So the so the dishwasher matches the other appliances.
Oh,
How about a
Just
frumpy
kidding.
dumpy robot girlfriend? I don't know about that.
Oh man, I know who would like that.
Let's ask him. Is he here? Yes, he is.
Always.
Arnie.
Hello there. Hey,
Hey.
think about what you think about welcome to the fatherhood. Yeah.
So listen, Arnie, you have been a robot at times when you've been a Terminator, a cybernetic humanoid, whatever, synthoid, or whatever the hell it is you said you were.
Cybernetic organism.
Now keep it clean. Keep it PG-13, Arnie.
I can't do that.
Robo women, human women. Which way you going? You have
as long as it's 5 by 5, 5 feet high, 5 feet wide, I'll take it. I'll put my penis inside it, the robot parts and the circuit boards.
Clean it up, Arnold.
Yeah, I can't. She's gonna have to clean up when I'm finished there because it's going to be messy. Okay.
So 5 by 5, huh?
Yeah. See, I even thinking about it. I made a mess over here.
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got his vote.
What a scumbag!
I'm more
an
confused now.
Austrian scumbag.
I don't know. It's kind of like, what did I expect asking him though?
Yeah, man. Come on. You know what you're getting.
So anyway, Griff is mad at Marty because Marty won't go along with his plan. Tells him to F off. Humiliates him in front of his buddies. Steals a hoverboard from cute little innocent girls. That is terrible, Marty. You're a thief.
But and they want to they're going to want to break in somewhere, like steal some shit or something. Like they want to commit a crime and turns in all this. But then he doesn't know that the hoverboard can't go over water. And that's what they tell him. It can't go over water unless you have like an engine or unless you have power. So then he throws down his hoverboard. It's like, you hear it like growl. It's just called like the Mad Dog or some shit. It's sharp and pointy and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they all have his gang. They all have leashes like attached to it. It's so powerful. It pulls all of them. And so they chase after him and he's trying to get across the water before they get to him. And he has his bat, that big bat. So they're going to, when they get to him, he's going to hit him with that bat. And so he has to get across the water before they reach him. And then he makes it and they end up crashing into like the police station. There's like a police station and they crash through the window and shit. And then they get arrested and then everything is cool. Griff goes to jail instead of Marty and everything seems to be fine. Right.
Right. Almost. Except for Biff. The OG Biff from the 50s. So this guy's 9 million years old now. He sees earlier in this, we don't have a pick of it, but Marty finds a sports almanac from 2015. He's going to take it back to 1985.
And it's like an antique shop too.
Right.
It's like an antique fucking old shit shop.
So he's going to know all the winners of all the sports games from his life. He's going to go back and he's going to bet on those 49ers beating the Broncos in the Super Bowl, much to my chagrin. And bet on those Lakers, bet on those Bulls for a three-peat in the late 80s, early 90s. And oh boy. And then Doc Brown says, no, you can't do that. And he guilt trips him. So he throws it in the trash.
What a bitch.
Right.
Because Doc's like, my time machine, it's not used for financial gain. I'm like, who gives a shit? Let him take it back and get rich, you fucking hater.
So he leaves the almanac there. He leaves it in the trash, and then old Biff finds it, and he's got a little thinking going on here. That he thinks he's
thinking what we're all thinking. I'm gonna go back, get rich off of betting, and it happens.
Mr. Kaiser Sklinken poopin.
Poopin.
Okay. Is that a real name?
Kaiser Slinkenpoopen, yeah.
Mr. Kaiser Slinkenpoopen.
Where are your papers?
Papers, please, Mr. Slinkenpoopen.
Yes. Or you would go inside the oven.
We have ways of making you talk. I got to see the movie in theaters on the date. On the date in the movie. Cool. Okay, cool. It was kind of neat. All right. Now Stallone is welcome at the barbecue. Crawfordsville. Oh, Toodleskay. She was saying earlier that Arnold wouldn't be welcome in this chat after what he said. Screw your freedom. Remember
Screw your freedoms.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
should
it's
stick to
funny. It's like
screwing the
ironic.
nanny. Screw the nanny, Arnold, not the freedom. That's bad enough. Okay.
Yeah, you jackass.
Yeah.
That's funny coming from an immigrant who came here for our
Right.
freedoms. But anyway.
No, I'll come to the barbecue anytime. You know, it depends.
Hey,
I like brisket is my favorite. What's your favorite?
I just like to get the sauce all over it.
Oh, Matthew, I heard Matthew, he did like a Q&A on his channel. People could ask him about that. And he said that Stallone busted his balls when they were filming Rambo 4 or whatever it was. He had a line and Marston thought it was a little goofy, the line. So he really like put himself into it when he did it. And he said it was too much, his like, you know, his energy when he did the line. And he said that Stallone said, any more ham and we're going to have a sandwich. So Marston said that's what Stallone said to his delivery of that line. So I guess there was a take 2. So, so anyway, Biffaroo gets the almanac, and what's her name? The girlfriend Elizabeth Shue, the lovely Elizabeth Shue. She wakes up in the alley. No, some cops find her there.
Yeah,
they fingerprint her to get her address. She's unconscious, and they take her to her home and drop her off at her home. Now I can believe in time travel. I can. What I cannot believe in is the cops find an unconscious person and don't take them to the hospital and just take them home.
yeah, she's good. Take her home.
Like, sleep it off.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Mom, I hit my head outside. Go take a nap. You know, nobody's going to do that. But they did. They took her home. And so now she runs the risk of running into her future self. So she's trying to hide from everybody. And while she's hiding in the closet, she's watching, you know, the whole family dynamic play out. And the grandparents, George McFly, and the mom, Leah Thompson, they come over. That's Michael J. Fox dressed up like a girl, like as his daughter.
As his own daughter.
Which was weird. I'm like, you guys just couldn't get a girl?
Why did they have Elizabeth Shue do it? Because for everybody else, they had the actor play all the different ages.
Yeah, I don't know. Or just another girl, to a teenage actress to play his daughter. I mean, I get it for the comedic value, but it didn't need to be him playing her. It's not like the daughter play, like this is the only scene she's in, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of weird.
And then the actor that played George in the first movie, he's not in the second or the third movie. So it's a different guy. Do you think maybe that's why they hung him upside down with the back injury thing? That they're like, because you can't.
Oh, that's not him?
That is not
the makeup and shit. Yeah, why? I wonder why.
No, I went deep dive Wikipedia. He actually sued and won because they put prosthetic makeup on that actor's face based on a life cast of Crispin Glover, the original actor. So they said, you can't use a mold of my face to make a mask for like appliances to put on a guy's face to make him really look like me. Like, you can't do that. And he actually won the lawsuit.
Damn, good for him.
Yeah, I went deep dive on Wikipedia all about this because I loved the movie when I saw it. So Crispin Glover wanted more money. Don't we all? Go to bigmancomics.com right now. Get Dinky and All American Lawman. That first printing is almost sold out, guys.
You have extra money in your pocket? Give it to Gabe.
You know, there's a problem for a lot of you guys in the chat. You have money in your pocket, but you don't have the world's best action adventure comic book.
That's an easy solve right
there. Well,
there.
Guess what I have? I have a great solution for you. So she comes in here, and I think for the time, 1989, the makeup doesn't look bad to make Leah Thompson and them look old. Because you've seen it sometimes, and it's awful. You know, when they
no, but at the time, all this shit was great. Everything they're doing in this movie, the special effects, the makeup, everything was cutting edge. It's Steven Spielberg. This is it. You know, so at the time, all this shit looked great.
Mr. Kaiser Slinkenfopen, he asks, I like the conversation. I think he means plane, like airplane. In the plane in All American Lawman. Is that the Jericho ref?
Yeah,
it is. There's a reference to Mr. Green in the airplane.
That one too. My son thought it was hilarious.
It's a funny joke. It's a really funny joke. You always knew how to pick them.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's you. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Love that.
So, yep. And for eagle-eyed people, I put Mr. Barron in there too. You may know who Mike Barron is. One of the greatest comic book writers of all time. Friend of mine, named my youngest child Michael after Mike. We're good friends. He got me my career in comic books. He got me my first gig drawing a real comic book for a real comic book company.
But a nice guy.
Yeah.
See, this is kind of futuristic shit that we thought. They put that in the oven for like a second. He puts it in, ding, takes it right out, and it's a full-size pizza.
Now, where do you come down on the green bell pepper on pizza? It's
Get that
shit,
shit
right?
out of here. I'd rather have cheese pizza. Don't put that shit on there.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick bell? That's just weird. Bell peppers.
What are we
Fuck
doing?
that.
Bell peppers
Like-
are fine, raw, and crunchy. The minute you cook a bell pepper, it turns into sludge. It's
And
disgusting.
like a supreme pizza, the combination. Hate the combination. The
So who's
olives
the
and
supreme pizza
onions.
for? Who is that for? It's awful supreme pizza.
Psychopaths. Why do you want all that shit on your pizza? Olives and the onions and the bell peppers. Get that mushrooms.
But all the water comes out of those vegetables and just makes it like wet on top of the cheese. When you want the cheese to brown, so it has more flavor.
Don't trust people who eat combination pizza. That's all I have to say. Don't trust them.
Now everyone likes to do the meme about pineapple pizza. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's good, but I don't think it's the grossest thing in the world. It's just like,
no, it's not. They could put a dick on your pizza, but it's pretty close. Pineapple's pretty close. The worst thing to put on there.
Michael Coulter, robot girlfriends could make birria tacos. They could do that.
Now what?
I put my wife on notice.
Put a nice little robot rump on that bad boy. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over. Bags packed.
Sorry, hon. No, I know. 28 years is a long time to me too, but C3PX, she's got you beat on the tacos.
And it should be like, he is my man now. Fuck off. What?
They get into like a slap fight in the front yard.
What? Ooh, tearing families apart.
Oh, you hussy.
Damn it, robots.
It's a robot hussy.
Don't do it.
Encroaching on the man.
That'd be the first thing. I'm telling you, it'd be something sexual. We would like robot prostitutes and shit. Hey, honey, would you like a date? Yeah, man. We go pervert first. Damn humans.
Why do people do that with technology? It's the first thing they do with technology. They find something gross to do with it.
That's what we're all about. Look at cult leaders and stuff. It's always about some sexual shit.
Yeah, the cult leader, mysteriously, it's his job to sleep with everyone in the cult. Oh, okay.
I gotta bang your wife first if you want to be my cult. And people, what's even worse, the people are like, okay. What the fuck?
Bacon and pineapple pizza. I would eat that.
What do you think of this, Kara? Mashed potato and bacon pizza. Had it. Delicious. Delish. Love it.
Doesn't like cooked pineapple.
I respect that. Warm fruit. I get it. That is
Flea, the great musician from Red Hot Chili Peppers there on the TV. And he's doing a deal with Marty McFly. This is 2015 grown-up Marty McFly. And they do something dishonest in business. And they do it digitally. They do it really quick. He put your card in, do the blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. But he convinces him to do this crooked thing in business. He's afraid of getting fired. And literally, he does it. And a second later, he gets a fax that he was fired from his boss.
And he goes, what are you? Chicken? Because that's the one thing, no matter what, Marty McFly, whether it's senior, junior, or whatever, don't call him a chicken. So he says, what are you, chicken? Because he knows that's going to make him do it. And even that paper, like that's the one futuristic thing they couldn't get right. That's 80s printer right there.
Okay.
Like that's a bunch of little tiny letters making up those letters.
That's the dot matrix printer.
Yeah, for sure. Remember, you have to tear it, and then you tear off those little circle, those little hole punch things on the side.
Right. Here's the thing, though. How in the hell, in 2015, they think there'd be a fax machine? In my business, entertainment and all that, you do fill out contracts and all that. And it would always weird me out when a client or whatever was like, okay, so just fax it to me. And I'm like, it's 2007, it's 2010, it's 2020. Like, what do you mean fax? It's not the 1800s. Like, why would I email? Why do you want me to fax something? What year do you think it is?
The fax cartel has a tight grip. They got Polaroids of
I don't know
politicians or something. The fax will never go away.
I hate that. It finally went away, the fax machine, but it took forever for that thing to die.
No, there's still fax machines out there because I think we still, there's something deep inside of us where we still need a physical copy. Like we gotta have it. There's always going to be that group of people, that contingent who just I gotta get a paper copy. Maybe after the older generation dies off, it'll completely go away. But the fax machine is still, it's on life support, but it's still here.
Right. Don't ever ask me to fax you anything, any of you. I don't care. I hate that so much, being asked to fax. And when I said the 1800s, guys, I looked this up a long time ago because it pissed me off, the fax machine. I wasn't kidding. Alexander Graham Bell invented the electric printing telegraph in 1843. You hear me?
Damn.
Before the Civil War. Why in the hell are people using a fax machine in the 2000s? Got to be kidding.
I'm telling you, it's that connection to the old world. I need a physical copy in my hand. Remember the white copy, pink copy, yellow copy?
Infuriating. Think about all the shit, all the paperwork and contracts and the bills that you've saved that just clutter your filing cabinet. You're never going to read this shit. It's never going to come up. Ever. You're never going to look at it.
You just can't get rid of it. What if the IRS comes knocking on your door and you got to have that receipt from 1993?
No, I know. I have all the shit. I have receipts from pencils I bought 20 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
They have all the damn. It's a good thing to have an accountant for a wife, though. It's a good thing.
She's on it.
Yeah.
On it.
Anyway, she meets herself, Elizabeth Shue. She meets future her and faints.
Mm-hmm.
And then why is Doc Brown? Oh, Doc Brown showed up at the house, right?
Yeah, he was like, come out, come to the door. She's like, I can't figure out how to open it. He's like, put your thumb on that pad on the wall. And then so she does that. And then right when the door opens, that's when she passes out and he catches her. Man, she must have fell hard because her leg is like damn near fucking 12 o'clock.
Right.
She fell hard as shit. Yeah, but he catches her. And then, you know, he got her now. Everything's cool. Marty, so everything should be fine. Right.
So they go back to 1985. They put her on the porch in front of her house, but everything is wrong. It's a ghetto. Everything's destroyed. There's like roving gangs, cops everywhere, and their nice little idyllic neighborhood is awful now.
And the principal, Mr. Strickland, he's there, and he has like shotgun bandoleros on his chest, and he's shooting at the thug. You get the hell out of here, and all this shit. And that's another thing about this movie. This is where it starts getting dark,
right?
You know? And then the language is a little more.
Yeah, they say asshole and shit and stuff.
Son of a bitch, and I didn't like. Not sure why they made that change, but yeah, you definitely notice it.
I didn't like that because these movies are great for kids because they're so imaginative. It's pulpy. It's like a comic book. It's really fun, and they're cursing and stuff a little like too much for kids. Like, what are you thinking? I don't know.
And then, not only is this a different neighborhood and everything's different, but he goes into his room and it's a black family, so it's really different.
Yeah, he goes to his house, and in this altered future, apparently he doesn't live here.
Nope.
Yeah.
He doesn't have black family lives there. But
like an 18-year-old guy crawling in some middle schooler's window.
No big deal. What father would have a problem with that? But then it's cool. You see dad, mom, and dad comes in, you know, in his boxers and his wife beater, and he's like, hey, you son of a bitch. You know, he's about to smash his fucking head. And he chases him off. He's like, we're not going to sell. Damn it. He thinks because I guess they're trying to like buy him out and stuff. You know, I don't know if they're developers or something like that, but he's like, I'm not going to sell. Damn it. You tell your boss. So.
Right. Yeah. So that's bad. And look at like the radio tower, like going through their house practically. And yeah, it's ugly. It's dangerous, but it is October of 85. He's back where he belongs and nothing is right.
Nothing.
But
Biff. And you got like the Madame Tussauds wax figurine of Biff there. And Biff is now, because the old man went back and gave it to 1950s Biff.
Right.
Now it's totally different. He's super rich. He has like this big, like almost Trump Tower kind of building in the middle of town, and his, you know, motorcycle gangs and bar fights and shit. And he has like this penthouse, and Biff's the man.
It reminds me a little bit of in It's a Wonderful Life when the altered future where Mr. Potter has taken over, and there's like, it says dancing beauties, which I guess was 1939 code for strip club and gambling and all that.
Potterville's like this. It's a ghetto. You know, it's all trashy and fucked up. So maybe they did borrow from that.
Yeah.
But then it kind of gives you, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? Damn it. But they basically, I can't think of the word, but basically they're telling you what's going on in the story with this voiceover. Biff.
Oh, exposition.
Yeah, exposition. Yeah, it's telling you what's happening, how he got rich, you know, because there's this little like video clip, you know, he made his money gambling in the sports world and blah, blah, blah. So it's explaining what happened and why he's so damn rich. And
right.
He's like, so the asshole factor is turned up to 11.
Right. It's some weird documentary that's happens to be playing on a TV screen in a window that Marty McFly goes up to when he's running through town, like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. Like, what's going on? And it's playing a short synopsis of the great Biff's life. And he did this, and he won this money, and he started this, and he started that, and he's the richest man on earth. And then it's just the ultimate nightmare for Marty because and then he married Marty McFly's mom, and then he just lays the most disgusting kiss in the world on this one.
Ew.
This is
way
like
too much tongue.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And it's one-sided tongue.
Yeah, and this is his reaction when he sees that dude kissing his mom.
Dude, he's tonguing her down, dude. He tasted what she had for lunch.
Jeez.
Sucks. Yeah. And that was his gang, his cronies. A bunch of like, hey, boss, what do you want me to do with that, boss? Like this little group of henchmen. And his mom, she got some new titties.
Yeah, I noticed that. Obviously, everyone knows it before they say it in the dialogue. But you're looking at her with this low cut thing with these giant boobs, and you're like, for a minute, I'm like, I don't remember that actress looking like that.
Yeah, low cut.
It dawned on me. That dawned on me. Oh, that's a prosthetic. That's makeup. And as an artist myself, I realize what they're doing here. It's latex and fake. And that's why she has that heavy golden necklace. That's right where the seam is, I bet, on the fake piece. You know what I mean? It's hidden right under there. So, but I was looking at like, why is she like this? Then you find out her piece of crap, Biff, drunken bastard husband. He made her get those, obviously. And he hates Marty. It's bad. So it's like this abusive relationship where she's stuck with him. And not good.
Yeah, this is where it gets dark right here. His dad is dead. And that's why she's a drunk. She's drunk. Oh, Marty. And he's asking, what happened to Dad? She's like, boy, he must have really hit you on the head hard. You don't remember? And he's like, no, what happened to my dad? He says, where's my dad?
Right.
The same place he's been for 12 years, Marty, at so-and-so cemetery. And he's like, holy shit, my dad died. And then Biff comes in, starts throwing her around and shit. And you see he was murdered.
Local author shot dead. That'll come back.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, this is some heavy shit. What happened to the fun, truck full of manure, Back to the Future? This shit is heavy. And he finds out his dad was murdered and stuff, and he's at the cemetery. And does he go to the cemetery and then come back to the penthouse?
I don't remember. It's been 2 weeks since I watched it. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, then Biff comes in, he starts like throwing her around and shit. He's a real asshole.
Yeah, Biff is an abusive monster. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And she tells him, remember, she's like, I'm leaving. I've had enough. And then he like emotionally blackmails her, like, go ahead.
I'll cut your kids off. I won't pay for shit. And your son will go to jail. And your daughter, what's going to happen to her? Fucking. So she's literally turning the doorknob to leave. And then she stops. She's like, okay, Biff, you win. And
she even tells him about the fake boobs. You want them back, you can take them.
Yeah, which would be kind of fucking weird. It's like cut her titties off.
A Robo girlfriend would never mouth off like this.
She never would. And
I'm slowly being won over to the Robo Latina housewife.
Hey, welcome home. Would you like me to blow you from the back?
Whoa. I just want a taco for dinner, please.
Wow, you eat a taco. Now you're talking, girl. Now you're talking. We're going to get you that upgrade you've been wanting. But then he explains to him what happened and how the riff got fucked up and space-time continuum and all that kind of shit. Because it's still 1985, but it's a different 1985 because Biff got that book and fucked everything up. So now they're living in a different dystopian 1985. So he does. He goes to Doc, he goes to the cemetery, and then he comes back to get some information out of Biff and try to get that book from him, the almanac.
Yeah. And then there's a classy guy, married, but he sits in the hot tub, presumably naked, with some real classy broads, with some real classy women.
These are real, was it the Meta Society?
These are Mensa.
Yeah, Mensa. They're talking about calculus and all these theories.
Yeah.
In the hot tub.
Yeah.
Naked.
Sure.
We've all been there.
So then he goes to confront him, steals a matchbook. That'll come in handy later. And they like to do that in these movies to show you a thing that's changed because of the time travel. In the first movie, it was that picture of his family. And as the time was getting closer that his parents were never going to meet and have children, him and his siblings were disappearing from the photograph. So this matchbook says, Biff, the bajillionaire casino owner. I don't know what it says, but it says something like that on it. And then there was the other paper that Elizabeth Shue, young 1985 Elizabeth Shue, she got that said you're fired on it. She got that paper too. So that'll come in handy later. So my wife's gonna smack me. How dare you? How dare you?
That's messed up, Toodles.
Oh, it's the Robo wife girlfriend. Listen, I went Latina Robo wife.
It's not real.
Yeah.
It's not real.
I wonder, listen, okay, let's just get stupid here for a minute, because otherwise we're just being highbrow and intellectual. So you got like robots, and they're at the level of C-3PO, right? You could talk to these things, they move, they could pick things up, they could do things, cook, clean, whatever. It's like a person, it's a robot. We're very close to this in real life. We're pretty close. You get a housemaid robot. You think your wife gets jealous if this housemaid robot is pretty, but it's a robot. It's silicone and steel and silicon and chips, and it's got a USB-C plug on its whatever, its shoulder to plug it in. And does your wife get jealous if it's pretty, but it's a robot?
How many holes does it have?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the fact that it's pretty.
That's the determining factor. She'll probably be okay, but the next one we get is going to be, some fucking Fabio looking, 6-pack dick root robot.
You could turn up his French accent. You could turn it like a scale 1 to 10.
You are so beautiful. Oh, you like see rose and the somehow they do. Nah, get that fucking guy out of here.
Yeah,
he's scrap metal. He's fucking scrap metal.
All right, I'm off the Robo wife thing. I'm off.
Yeah, all you got to do. That's all you got to do is flip it on the other.
I'm like, all right.
Just flip it on the other side. That'll let you know.
Although it would be cool to fight a robot dude to the death. That would be cool.
And you might have to. If you bring that thing up in here, we're fighting to the death. Now, if you want to get some some low budget, rusty butt tooth retard male robot, that's okay.
You want me to put him over here?
You want me to do the laundry? He's fine. That's okay. But not, I have prepared your coffee on. I folded the laundry for you. Oh, nah, fuck it. Yeah, Biff's a scumbag. He's about to kill Marty because Marty tried to steal his almanac. And then on the next scene where he's pointing the gun at him, he says, jump. It'll be real clean, just like when I killed your father. Right. So then he finds out Biff actually murdered his dad. And so you see Marty standing on the edge of the building. And this is like, 100-story fucking huge skyscraper. And so he stands on the edge, and you see Marty kind of look over, and then he goes, go ahead, jump. And he's like, okay. And he just steps off, and he's like, oh shit. But then you see that since, remember the DeLorean flies now, Doc had flown up there and was like hovering, like 10 feet down or whatever. So he actually jumped onto the DeLorean and then takes off with he says to McFly, same gun. Like, just like the dumb bad guy tells you the whole plan, like a jackass, thinking you're going to die. So that's basically what Biff did. So yeah, Biff, again, it gets dark in this one. Biff's he's more of a piece of shit than he's ever been in any of these movies.
Have you ever seen, I don't know if they do it in the movie, but in the comic book Watchmen, you've heard of the movie, right? Watchmen. It was a seminal comic book, 1986. The thing is still a bestseller nearly 40 years later. I won't go into specifics of what it is, but there's a main villain. And right at the climax, when the good guys are trying to stop him from his world-destroying plan that's going to destroy millions, he explains to them his plan. And the good guys say, we'll never let you do it. And he's all, I'm not some cartoon villain. He's all, do it. I did it 30 minutes ago. Do you think I would have told you my plan if there's any chance you would have stopped it? When I read that, I read this like 20 years ago, this book, I was like, oh my gosh. Because every time in the regular stuff, the bad guy always says his plan and then the good guys stop him. But in Watchmen, the bad guy says it and they're like, we'll stop. I'll do it. I did it 30 minutes ago. I had to drop the book when I read that. I was like, that was so awesome.
Let me ask you this. What did you think of the movie?
I don't remember. I remember DC Comics took us to the movie. The whole studio got to go because it's a DC comic. And there was a sex scene in slow motion, and it was graphic enough. And it was weird to watch that with your 40 coworkers.
Yeah.
I'm against sex scenes in movies. It's superfluous. What is the point of this? I don't like it. It makes everyone uncomfortable and it doesn't drive the plot. I don't know. But it's worse when you're with all your coworkers.
I like Rorschach. He was my favorite. And that line where he goes, I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me. He got that from Bruce Lee.
Really? I didn't know that. The writer of Watchmen is like a far leftist. He thinks he's like a wizard or something, is what I've heard. Like he's a crazy old dude. He's a great writer, one of the greatest comic book writers of all time. Very far left wing, and he hates Rorschach. And he wrote that character as like a critique of conservative people. And what he said was like, just like overly, authoritarian and people who are into rules. And that's the favorite character of everyone who reads it. And
yeah, Rorschach was the shit.
But the guy that wrote that comic, he hates that everyone loves Rorschach.
Yeah, he missed the mark on that because Rorschach is a shit. He kills a pervert.
Well, he nailed it the way he wrote Rorschach, but he wanted you to hate him. And you're like, no, we love him. He's awesome.
Oh, he was the best.
Yeah.
That movie.
But you've never read the comic?
No, I never even heard of Watchmen until I heard of the movie. But that was back in like 2009.
It's still 38 years later. It's still a best-selling comic book. They still reprint new editions all the time.
I'm not sure how close the movie is to the comic, but if it is similar, then I'm sure it is a great one. Because
I would say the movie is good. The comic book is better. It's like you got to get the comic book. You can probably pick it up for $19 now or something, like a soft cover, a brand new edition, not an old one. But it's outrageous, the comic book. Like, here's the kind of thing. Dave Gibbons, the illustrator, and Alan Moore, I'm telling you, this is like the greatest comic book of all time, Watchmen. And it's a masterful work of fiction. The Rorschach test is the mirror image. What do you see in the Rorschach test, right? That chapter that focuses on his life, my brother pointed out to me after we read, it's like 25 pages long, that chapter. Each page is a mirror image of each page till you get to the center of that story.
Oh,
if you look at page 1 and like page 26, they're mirrors. And then page 2 and page 25, they're mirrors. It's insane.
So that's why his mask did that in the movie.
Well, yeah, his mask is like that Rorschach thing. But the meta symbolism and the different levels of storytelling going on and all the like the figurative things, there's never been anything like it before or since. It's insane, that book. It's really, really well done. So
wow.
I couldn't help but wonder if Dean Cain, All-American Lawman would ever be made into an animated movie. Well, I would like it to be live action, either a TV show or a movie. But I don't want to talk about stuff like that because I just don't want to talk about things like that right now. So
I wouldn't be mad at that.
But yeah, I'd like for it to end up that way. So we'll see.
We sure will.
So. Why does he get? Who knocks him out here? What happens to him? How does Biff?
The door. He opens. He looks over the side, and then he opens the wing door, and bam, knocks his ass out. Which, in reality, would fuck somebody up real bad. Like you spitting out some typhus after that.
Oh, look at this, Mr. East. The ultimate cut of Watchmen is 4.5 hours long. Started watching it last night. When it finished, it was light out the next day. Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Watching Suicide Squad as we speak. I hate it.
Yeah, because the first one was PG-13 with Will Smith in him, and I think the second one is rated R. But I've seen it. I saw it when it came out, and I tried to watch it a couple of weeks ago. And then you get to the scene where they dropped him in the city, and then there's like these. They reminded me of the fucking what were they called the henchmen from Power Rangers, where like that shit. Like,
the putty.
Yeah, it was corny, dude.
Well, here's the thing. David Ayer, I think, is a great movie guy. He was the director of that, and he has said just in public, boldly on Twitter, that is not the movie I made. Warner Brothers butchered that movie. That was a movie by committee, by all the executives and editors and all the high ups at Warner Brothers. He said that Suicide Squad movie from 2016 that came out, he said that is not the movie I filmed or anything. It doesn't.
That's good to hear.
He said it doesn't resemble it at all. So
that's good.
And that doesn't surprise me at all. I think when there's so much money involved and the comic book movies were in their prime and, the teens, the 20 teens, those executives who are talentless, they've never made anyone laugh or smile or cry once with anything they've ever written or done, but they have all the power in Hollywood. So they get their ego in there like, why don't you do it like this? And it's like, maybe I'm the talented one and you should just pay the check. You know what I mean? But I hear movie making is very difficult because there's a lot of interference from the top. Very powerful, very untalented people. So
yeah, it's like somebody coming. You're a world-class chef. You're a Michelin star chef, and a bunch of people who can't cook, who can't boil water, are coming here telling you how to cook.
Right.
But they're telling you to do things that don't make any sense in the world of cooking.
Right.
Like they're telling you how to prepare things and what to, but that doesn't mean that's not going to work. It's because it's going to cause this to do this and blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, yeah, if I can do it the way I do, like,
But
it's going to come out like shit.
by the time I left DC Comics, it had gotten that way. They were just hiring kids to be editors. I mean, really, like young guys and girls right out of college, never written anything, couldn't draw, couldn't make comics, but they're telling guys like me who are doing this for 20, 30 years how to do it. Why would you think they'd know what to tell me or how to help me?
That would
very bizarre. In the old days, comic book editors were former writers. They were men now in their 50s and 60s, and there were female editors that were great too. And but they were experienced artists and writers, the old editors. And now they're just some punk kid that they could pay, $40,000 a year or whatever. And they're giving you ideas and storyline this and that, and they don't know what they're talking about, and it's infuriating. That's why I have Big Man Comics. That's a big reason why too. So I don't have to listen to nonsense. Anyway, old Biffaroo's taking a nap on the roof there, and they are taking off. Where are they headed now? They're headed back January 1, 1880. Oh,
when you see that, that's a little hint, a little nod to the next one.
Right. Yeah, because there was an error, right? Like they got hit by lightning and stuff, and that thing's been it's been acting up.
Yeah, he even says, like, I need to get this thing fixed. I need to fix this, and he like hits it, and then it, and goes back to the right date.
Right. So they have to take Marty back to
1955.
1955, not 1885. Holy cats.
A little off.
Right. So he meets a time traveling Doc Brown. He gives him the different money from the different eras. I thought that was such a neat little detail. That's very nerdy.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because you can't just grab money from 1985 and go back, or 2015 and go back to 1955. Nobody would, that's fucking weird. Nobody would take that money.
The studio suits ruined Alien 3. I liked Alien 3, but I did see it in 8th or 9th grade, so whatever. The DCEU wasn't all what it should have been. The DCEU was pretty terrible. I liked Man of Steel, even though that's not Superman at all. It is an insult to Superman. As a movie, it's cool. If that wasn't Superman, it's cool. But Superman doesn't kill people, and they had him kill someone in that, which doesn't make any sense. Aquaman, the first one, is cool, but I'm biased because I was one of the artists for the Aquaman comic, and I got to go to the premiere. And then I also like Shazam, but I'm biased because I just finished working on that comic, and I got to go to the premiere. So I'm very biased that I like those movies because I was at the Hollywood premiere. So if they're good or bad movies, I could never tell you because I'm completely biased.
Oh, yeah, Man of Steel. That's the one that came out, 2013 or something like that?
Yeah, and he breaks General Zod's neck at the end. And you're like, what the hell? Superman doesn't kill people. Also, he lets his dad die in the tornado. Come on.
Yeah, that was weak. I can't stand when they fucking fight. Why would you fight in the middle of a heavily populated metropolis fucking city? Go out in the cornfield somewhere and fight. Why would you kill all these people? And then here's something petty, but I don't like it. I don't like Henry Cavill as Superman.
He looks great.
But the reason I don't like it is because of his teeth.
What's wrong with his teeth?
His bottom row of teeth are crooked. That's Superman.
Oh.
Like you guys couldn't CGI his teeth or give him some fucking Invisalign. I can't. That just bugs me. He's Superman. He's not going to have fucked up teeth. He's like the perfect human being. You mean everything else about him, the square jaw, chiseled muscle, the curly hair, right here and shit, and then his fucking teeth. That bugs me. Like it's all about attention to detail. You guys didn't fucking get that.
I think he's a great looking Superman.
But he does look like him, but
these teeth.
He is a good Superman, but his fucking teeth bother me.
Wow.
Like, why wouldn't you give Superman perfectly straight teeth?
This is your toe thing with women, huh? Where you said if women have ugly toes, you don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah, you're out of here. I don't give a fuck how beautiful you are and all that shit. If those toes are jacked, you gotta go. That's just, I've always been that way.
Superman had to kill General Zod, though. Otherwise, Zod would have. Here's the problem with that, Kara. They didn't have to write it that way. They did not have to write it into a situation where he had to kill him. Superman doesn't kill. That's part of his thing.
Yeah. That's part of what, like thrown him into deep space or something like that. Yeah.
Throw him in the negative zone, like he did in the old 70s one or the 80s.
Yeah. That was weird that he killed him. That was very off brand.
Christopher Reeve will always be Superman to me. Dean Cain will always be Superman to me. So there you go.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve, I like that. But part 3 was stupid as fuck. Wasn't there 4 of them that he did?
Oh, there was
Yeah,
a fourth one. Yeah,
the fourth one was like, oh, nuclear war. I'm gonna throw all the nukes into the sun.
Was it Richard Pryor in that one or something too?
He was in the third one with Gene Hackman. Gay.
Anyway.
No likey. But yeah, Marty, he goes back to 1955, and his job is to follow Biff.
His job is to dress like a cool cat.
Hey,
Daddy-o, cool boys and girls.
Hey, Daddy-o, cool. Meet me at the soda fountain. Yeah.
Bring your best girl.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you wanted to go steady with me.
Ooh, that's cool. I'll find another girl. Yeah. Like very Chester Cheetah, you know? But his job is to go back and find Biff and get that almanac from him. That's his job. Get that almanac. Get the almanac, Marty. Great Scott.
Great Scott.
Yeah, so that's Marty's job, is to get the almanac from Biff, but it proves to be pretty difficult.
So old Biff is there. This is 2015 Biff.
Yeah.
And he's here to give the almanac to 55.
Because he takes the time machine while Marty and Doc are fucking around, you know, when Jennifer went to her house and saw her future self and all that. While they're fucking around, old Biff steals the time machine and goes back to 1955 to give Biff the almanac. And as you can see in the next scene, Biff, like who
does this?
Like somebody would fucking knock this dude's teeth down his throat if you're going down the street lifting up girls' poodle skirts. Like this is the time. Now people would sit there and film it and not do anything. But back then, somebody would wring his fucking neck for pulling up a girl's skirt. Like that's almost punishable by death in the 50s.
It's insane.
Especially in small town Americana. They beat the shit out of this fool.
As a writer, it's, you know, because these movies they're very comic booky, these movies. They're very far-fetched, but in the fun way. This is extreme, like time travel, like all the stuff extreme. So this is extreme villainy to make you hate Biff. Because look at the disgust reaction you and I are having right now. Like who does this? This is madness. This is complete madness.
Just walking down the street, lifting up skirts. Nobody saw this. No older person saw this and like grabbed this punk.
You know what immediately comes to my mind when I see this? I just see myself running across the street and clotheslining him right in the neck.
Yeah. Like you and your buddies just curb stomp his face for him.
Like, what are you doing?
Dude, doing whatever he wants, apparently.
I guess that's Biff for you.
That's a fucking psycho.
Speaking of clotheslining, Hulkster. How you doing tonight, friend?
I'm doing great, brother. I got a big pot of the fusilli going right now, brother.
Let me ask you a question. If this Biff character came into Pastamania is the sponsor, the one and only sponsor of Double Impact with Gabe Altabe and Jericho Green. Thank you for being a great sponsor. If this Biff jerk came into Pastamania and did this to one of your female patrons, what would you do to him?
I'd do a few things to him, brother. First, I'd take that big pot of fusilli I got going right now, brother. I'd throw that pot of hot water in his face, brother. Ooh. I'd give him a leg drop, and I'd pick that son of a bitch up and slam him like I did that giant at the Pontiac Silver Dome, brother, in front of 93,000 Hulkamaniacs, brother. And then I'd ride away on that red and yellow Harley, brother.
Now, a guy like Biff, what do you think went wrong in his life to lead him down this wayward path? Bullying people, stealing things, flipping up skirts. How does a guy become like this?
I think he probably didn't have a father, brother, and somebody touched him, you know, somewhere private, brother.
Oh, no. If he came to you,
we're going there tonight, brother.
If he came to you and he was sorry, he had tears in his eyes, and he looked up to you and said, Hulkster, I didn't have a dad growing up. Would you be my dad? What would you tell him?
It'd be kind of hard for him to say that, brother, with his jaw wired shut for 6 months, brother. But I'd take him, I'd give him a big hug, brother. I'd give him some vitamins, tell him to say his prayers and listen to his parents, brother. I'd take him under my wing and teach him the art of that sweet semolina flower, brother.
We love it that you're out there and you're standing up for what's right. Anything you want to plug before you go, Hulkster?
Well, summertime's coming up, and you know nothing's better in that hot weather than a hot plate of pasta, brother. You come down during the summertime, especially the 4th of July, America's birthday, brother, and I'll give you a free 20-pound bag of the pasta of your choice, brother.
All right, guys, that's in Clearwater, Florida. Head out to Pastamania. We'll talk to you later, Hulkster. Thank you.
Bye, brother.
Oh, the great Hulk Hogan, sponsor of the show.
I see Hulk Hogan on the 4th of July doing laps in the Postamania parking lot holding sparklers, just fucking loving America. That's what I see.
I love that he would beat the crap out of Biff for doing that. Yeah, I saw this and I was like, you got to be kidding me with this.
Dude, he would front kick him through that store window and then leave enough money to make the repairs. Because that is just fucking insane.
It is. But from a writing perspective, it's good writing because it makes you hate him.
It's just strange that it's in that time that so he's like, hey, come here. Fucking whoop his ass.
Yeah. Jeez.
Psycho.
And then he's not done. He's flipping on the skirt, and then what does he tell her? He tells her some more awful things, and we're gonna do some
dirty fucking scumbag shit, man.
Oh,
but I love the costume.
Should have asked Hulk this. What if it was his daughter?
Oh man.
We would have drove him to the center of the earth.
We wouldn't have him as a sponsor because he'd be serving 25 to life for what he did. Dude, he would pile drive his head off. Is that possible?
Yeah.
I think he would pile drive him until it was just a wet mess on top of his neck. That's what I think. The Hulkster's daughter, the baby Hulkster. Oh,
right.
He'd skin him alive with his bare hands, and rightfully so.
When are you gonna get it through your thick skull, Lorraine? You're my girl.
You're my girl.
Now you told me that's how you picked your wife up, right, Jericho?
Well, it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah,
but that's what I told her. I was like, "Yeah, come here, touch your mind, see? Yeah, see." And here we are, 20 years later.
Oh, he wasn't wrong though. He does marry her in the evil version of 1985 with that.
He was right. He's 30 years off. But he was right. What a piece of shit.
And Mr. East is definitely an alpha move. No, it's not. He's a pig, dude.
That's an alpha male right there. You just go up to her and say, hey, Toots, get it through your thick skull. You're mine now.
This guy, right through the window, this guy. Right through the window.
Let me see the goods.
You ever see those videos like in Brazil or something? It's legal to like run over criminals on the street or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
One of those South American countries, I believe. I could be wrong, YouTube, but I've seen videos where they said, yeah, if they see someone mugging someone, people in their car just hit them. Not here in America. I'm not saying to do it. It's illegal and dangerous. Don't do it. I'm saying I've seen a video where someone said that. That would happen to Biff, I think, here.
I think into him. I wish that we would treat the world like a Golden Corral buffet and just take things from other countries that they just get right. Even if they're a dictatorship or, fucking crazy and violent, some things other countries just get right. And if you were to see something like this and you're in your car, why not just, boom, yank the wheel and make the world a better place?
I remember when my kids were real little, like 5 and 3 or something like that, there were some other little girls that lived next door and they were around the same age and they were playing outside and this and that. And there was a school across the street. This is when I lived in Colorado. And the little girls from next door, I didn't know them well, but I'd seen them around. They come running up to me, two of them crying, that man is telling us to get in his car. Me and my brother, like lightning bolts, ran up on the dude. What the fuck are you doing, boo-boo? We just and it was a misunderstanding. He was getting his daughter from the school. But in my defense, I thought my heart was in the right place.
This dude almost got torn in half.
My brother's not as big as me. I'm 6'4". My brother is jacked out. He's 6 feet tall, but he's solid muscle, my brother. He's one of those guys that if you poke him, he just feels like beef and he doesn't have to lift weights. My dad's the same way. My brother's that way. And we just ran up on this dude. Almost cursed him out. What are you doing? We're going to pervert. And it was a misunderstanding. But the little girl ran up to me crying.
Dude, little girl, you know what almost happened to this dude? We almost made this dude a vegetable. You know what? I had a similar story to that real quick. I was in New York City. I was fresh out of boot camp. It was my first duty station at Earl Naval Weapons Station in Colts Neck, New Jersey. And we could, from the pier, from the ship where we were moored, we could see the New York City skyline. And it was like a 45-minute ride to the city. And that's what everybody did, on Friday night or whatever. If you didn't have duty, you went to New York City. So we're there. It's my first time in Times Square. I'm just like, seeing New York in movies and shit growing up. And I'm in New York City, the skyscrapers, the honking, the taxi cabs, all that shit. I'm in New York. And so what's one of the things you always see in a big city? Some guy bumps into you, oh, excuse me, and then he takes your fucking wallet, right? So I'm in Times Square, fucking thousands of people. There's like 500 people waiting to cross the street in New York City. It's fucking crazy. So sure enough, we're in a big crowd and we're making our way through, and this guy comes from behind. It's not a knife. It's a knife. Yeah, I took that can of Carnation milk and just fucking bash this dude's head in. So this guy comes walking up from behind me and he bumps into me. And I'm like, I can't believe this shit. He just picked my pocket and he's like weaving his way through the crowd. And I'm thinking this dude's making an escape. He has my fucking wallet. So I'm also like a little bit happy, like, oh shit, I got my pocket picked in New York City.
You didn't reach down to feel if you had a wallet or not?
Dude, I'm about to go up to this dude. I had it planned in my head. I'm going to spin him around with my left hand and just fucking blast this dude in his mouth for taking my fucking wallet, right? And so I'm walking faster, and it seems like he's walking faster too. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I know he stole my wallet. So I swear to you, Gabe, I get up on him, and I'm reaching out to fucking grab this dude by the shoulder, by his right shoulder to spin him around. I'm not going to say shit. I'm just going to fucking lay this dude out. I'm 18, right out of boot camp. I got the dick root, chest out, 18 years old. You can't tell me shit. I'm about to fuck this dude up. And I reached, and I swear to you, a voice in my head said, check your pocket. And I reached back, and my wallet was there. And I took my hand back. I put my hand down, and this dude just keeps walking, going on about his business, not knowing.
You're gonna
drill this. Oh, I'm gonna fuck him up so bad. But yeah, man. So basically, what I'm saying is, if somebody bumps into you, check your wallet, check your pocket, right?
Yeah. And if a kid tells you that man in the car is creepy, run to him. Follow the law at all time. I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. This is not legal advice, YouTube. But ask questions. Just make sure you know what's going on. But yeah, me and my brother were ready to change that guy's life. I'll put it that way.
He's about to have a blue parking spot. He's gonna have a blue placard in his fucking rear
view.
He's gonna
be telling me, I was okay before the accident.
I love ice cream. Forever. You got should have done. You should have went back up to that little girl and cussed her out. What the fuck's wrong with you? Fuck that,
I felt sorry for those kids. They were really poor white trash, and they got really ignored. My heart goes out to those kids. They were always like, parents were, I don't know what was the situation. It wasn't a good one though.
Yeah, white privilege is bullshit, because I've seen some fucked up white folks too. That's not true.
Bob K from MIT for $2. Where did you go for boot? Great Lakes for me. 1 second before you answer, Jericho. Thank you for the super chat.
Well, Senior Chief, I went to the same place, Great Mistakes, Illinois. And I went, I remember I went in the summertime because fuck snow. But I remember seeing yearbooks and stuff from past divisions and stuff like that. And you see the ones who go through during the wintertime. And this is Great Lakes. All right. I don't know if anybody's never been to the Great Lakes, but just imagine being in Father Winter's tank. That's what the Great Lakes are. It's a different kind of winter there. East Coast, yes, cold as hell. But that Midwest is something special. And I remember looking at those pictures going, oh, thank God I didn't go during winter. But it's also hot and humid as shit during the summertime there. So
I'd rather be cold than hot. I'd rather be cold all day than hot, dude. Hot is
I don't know, man. I don't know. There was a few days.
You got swamp ass, bat wings going.
But you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about how many more push-ups do I have to do? But there were a few days where it was heat condition 5. I think it's like 95 or over. They suspend all outdoor activity. So you're thinking, cool, we don't got to go outside. We don't got to march. We don't got to do shit. Wrong. They just bring the activities indoors like a rainy day. You just do indoor activities during heat conditions. So you didn't escape the abuse. But it was fucking great.
So earlier we had the cool Daddy-O and the old Daddy-O, and they both they get in the car with the absolute pervert slime ball. They get in the car,
scum of the earth.
But the cool cat, he's laying in the back seat with the almanac, and old Biff is trying to tell himself. And look at this. They didn't even see him. He's right there.
Yeah, how do you not? Especially young Biff. He's at another angle. Like, you don't see this dude sitting up in your back seat. But, it's a classic.
This cool cat in the back seat.
Classic, Daddy-O Chester Cheetah. He didn't see him. And he's telling him, he's like, hey, listen to me, kid. All you got to do is take this book, and all you got to do is bet on the winners. He's like, oh, shut up, old man. He's like, hey, pay attention, you idiot. Make sure you do this. You'll be the richest man in the world if you do this. And then he's like, yeah, whatever, old man. And so he turns on, he's like, watch, UCLA is going to win 19-17. And so they turn on the football game, and it's like, he goes back to pass. He throws it down the field, and he catches it, blah, blah, blah. And he ends up winning. He's like, oh, shit. So then he believes him. But then he gives him the almanac, and he just like throws it in the back. He's like, yeah, whatever, old timer. Listen, you fucking idiot. Like, don't let this out of your sight. You keep this book with you forever. And so he finally he like folds it in half and puts it in his back pocket. And then they leave the garage, and the whole time they're going out there, he keeps telling him, do the, blah, blah, blah. Listen to me. Pay attention. Just always bet on the winner. You'll always win. And then he says, oh, and in the future, some crazy scientist and his kid's going to come up to you. He's like telling him, hey, even if they come up to you and tell you, whatever, give me the book, it's wrong, don't listen to him. So he's covering all his bases, and he's setting this fuck. And Biff is an idiot. Biff is he goes, why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? Like, he's a fucking dumb. So he knows that because that's him. And so he's, explaining it to him, do this, do that, and everything will be all right. So he pretty much listens to him, and then they close the garage. So now Marty's locked in the garage in the backseat of the car, and he has that walkie-talkie, and he's like, Doc, I'm locked in the garage. And he's like, oh, great Scott, Marty. So they got to figure out how to reconnect with each other.
Real quick, Bob K, MIT, 1982 for me, Company 199.
I was in 1999, and by then they called them divisions. So I was Division 227. I'll never forget that shit. And it was so much fun because I was RPOC. So like that's the guy who calls the cadence when they're marching. So when I was in Sea Cadets, when I was a kid, before that, from like 12 to 15, I was in Sea Cadets. You go through a boot camp, like a 2-week boot camp at Treasure Island when it was still open in San Francisco. It was a active duty Navy base. And so I went through a boot camp there, and you march and you learn all the cadences and shit. So all these cadences that I learned there, and then it was ran by Marines. So I learned some Marine cadences too. So then I would just like switch out, Marine for sailor, whatever. I'd, change the lyrics if I had to a little bit. But I got to, call cadence when we were marching, man. And I still remember them to this day. Some of the cadences, man, they were so much fun. Yeah, there was a lot of, beating your ass and, not literally beating your ass, but making you, they call it getting bent or cycled. That was when you had to do the crazy exercise. So, yeah, that shit sucked and everything, but there were some really cool parts. And, man, I'm telling you, I'm talking goosebumps marching down the street, singing these cadences, man. And then at the point, because when you first get there, if you don't have any ROTC or Sea Cadet training, these motherfuckers don't know how to march left, right. They fucking can't get it. But when you get to that point where everybody knows how to march and you're left, right, everybody's moving. Like you look down the line and it looks like there's just one person because everybody's lined up perfectly. Everybody's marching. Man, I'm telling you, that is a proud fucking moment when you're just cruising down the fucking street, calling cadence, marching your ass off, man. That shit was so fucking cool.
That sounds awesome.
It was.
Real quick, thank you for the super chat, Bob K, MIT. And of course, you know how it is.
That was great. And then
Bob sends another 5. You're like this, 76 black guys, and they made the smallest white dude RPOC, LOL. Well, I think he meant you will like this, is what he meant.
Yeah. I remember that shit. He's usually the smallest dude.
That's hilarious. And
that was the best.
Here you go, Bob, but we're gonna mix it up for you. Thank you. The great Jean-Claude Van Damme. His new movie, Darkness of Man?
Yeah.
The trailer came out, and Todd Senefonte, friend of the show, we'll have him back on. He's Van Damme's stunt double and his body double and stunt double and all that for many, many years, since the 90s. He was in his first movie he did with Van Damme together was the hockey one with Powers Booth and Sudden Death. So he's been Van Damme's guy for years doing
Powers Booth, R.I.P.
What a great actor. But yeah, Todd sent me the trailer. He texted me the other day and sent me the trailer, and it looks fantastic with Van Damme. And I told Todd, please, I want to go to the premiere. Please, somehow. I don't know if he can do that at all. I don't know if I'm being rude by asking, but I want to go. I want to meet Jean-Claude Van Damme.
You never know till you ask. But yeah, man, shout out to Todd. He sent me the trailer too, man. It was totally cool. I told him the same thing. I was like, oh, we got to watch this and have you on the show to
definitely have him on the show, go behind the scenes, tell us all about it. Yeah, we'll break it down. We'll watch the movie, then we'll have him on. Hopefully I'll go to the premiere. Hopefully. Please.
Fingers crossed.
Please. So anyway, he's given young him the almanac. They did not see the cool cat daddy-o in the back seat. And
somehow.
Yeah. So then they're gonna steal the almanac from Biff. That's the guy. They gotta steal it from him before he can keep it and then get rich and then ruin the future 1985. And then they're gonna jump in the DeLorean and head back. That's the plan.
Yeah. Real simple, right?
Doc Brown has to fix something, right? There's something wrong with the vehicle or no? I don't know.
Yeah, the flux capacitor or some shit is messed up. So he has to somehow scrape together the parts in 1955 in order to fix that machine. So he has to go and find himself, or Marty has to find him and convince him to help fix the DeLorean.
That's right. And sad but noble note here from Toodle Skay. Hope I'm saying it right. Her uncle was killed in Korea, I'm assuming the Korean War, almost exactly 4 years before the date that car scene is set. The 187th Airborne Army. Well, thank your family for the sacrifice of your uncle there. I live in San Diego. It's one of the biggest military town in America is San Diego. So I'm very, very intimate with family members and lots of friends in the military. And of course, Jericho's a veteran himself. So RIP to your uncle.
Airborne Rangers are no joke, man. They're like a bigger group of special forces soldiers.
Right.
So you got like regular soldiers, airborne, and then like, special ops, like the guys who are smaller groups, like the Braves or whatever. But Airborne Rangers ain't no bullshit, man. For sure. I'm glad they work for us.
Right. So Biff's on his way to the dance. He's got the almanac, and it's great because it's the Enchantment Under the Sea dance or whatever it's called. It's that same dance from the first movie. And I watched some documentaries, went on Wikipedia, read all about this trilogy of movies. And the two guys behind the movie, the writer and director kind of team there, it was Bob Zemeckis and Bob Grace, or Bob, it's a shorter name, whatever. He was the main writer. And they said it was really fun to do a sequel and go back and do the first movie, but now from a different point of view. So they're filming similar scenes, but with a different angle and from a different character's POV and stuff like that. So they said that was actually really fun to do a sequel where they got to do that. So we're going right back to that first movie. And then Doc Brown from the other timeline is running into the Doc Brown who's trying to set up the whole clock tower lightning strike thing on the night of the dance. So it's kind of weird. It's
and he's giving him pointers. He like hands him something, like he asked for a tool or something. He hands it to him, but he's turns his back so Doc can't see himself and fuck everything up. So yeah, it's pretty cool that they come so close to each other.
All right, Kara, have a great night. Thank you for everything. It's always fun having you guys here. She must be maybe East Coast. I think she said hello from Michigan at the beginning. I think she's way
Peace out, Kara. Thank you for hanging out as long as you did.
Yeah, thank you.
See you next time there, shipmate. Or as we used to say, shipwreck.
Yeah, we're just some California boys. It's still early here. It's only 8:28. So, dude, it's not that late, bro.
No, dude, hang out, dude.
No, bro, you don't have to go right now.
Dude, don't go, Kara, dude, don't go.
Bogus, Kara.
Sit and hang out, dude. Don't be like that, bro. That's not gnarly, dude. You're so ungnarly, dude.
I told you I ran into kids just like that for a second time at Mr. Frosty's.
They're real. They're fucking real people.
Mr. Frosty's. It's a family-owned soft serve place, ice cream, all kinds of hot dogs, hamburgers, but they're known for their ice cream. Right by the beach in Pacific Beach, very near to my house. Love Mr. Frosty's, but on more than one occasion, I've run into surfer bros in the line there, dude. And I ran into a kid there like 2 months ago, and these are like college-age kids. And I get these dip cones, the dip in the red cherry. Love the cherry dip cone. And the kid's waiting for his food, and I'm waiting for mine. I grab the two cherry dip cones. I turn around and go, dude, what are those? Like he'd never seen it before. I don't know, man.
That's crazy, man.
He wasn't stoned out of his tree or something. Like, you don't know what a dip cone is?
You ever see that clip of that newscaster or the news reporter interviews that dude on the beach? And I don't know if it's San Diego, but it's Southern California, and he's wearing the wetsuit.
Right.
He's like, dude. I mean, it's
right. I was waiting for a and then I dropped in, dude. Speaking of the beach, Did you see that horrible story where SeaWorld sent their rescue team to save that abandoned seal and it fell off the cliff when the girl was trying to wrangle it? Did you see this?
No.
They sent some college-age girl and, they have their rescue team. So they go to the La Jolla Cove and there was a seal there and he was a puppy and the girl's trying to grab him and he falls off. Let's see. I'm writing it into Google, see if I can find it.
Oh, it's a puppy. That's fucked up. I thought it was a
no.
That's fucked up. A little cute, big-eyed. Oh, I saw this shirt. I gotta buy this, man. I forgot about it, but I gotta buy it. And it's what do you call it, like a ring seal or whatever? It's a baby seal. The fur ball with the big dark eyes. And then there's like a hand with a stick in it, and it says "We be clubbing."
Terrible.
That shit is so funny. You imagine now how pissed off people would get at somebody wearing a shirt like that. It said "We be clubbing." Oh man, that's funny.
I'm not gonna find the video, but there's La Jolla Club where I go snorkeling there with my family, and there's a ring of cliffs around it. They're like 40 feet up from the sand, and then where you snorkel, and they're rocky. And it's filled with hundreds of birds and seals and sea lions. They're both there. And I took Big Baby there with my wife on Sunday, like a week and a half ago. And we were looking at this pup seal. He was 1.5 feet from the fence. We're just looking at him. He's just like smiling with his eyes closed, getting sun. But all the other seals were like 100 yards away across the water. So I don't know if he got rejected or abandoned or something. So I'm guessing SeaWorld sent their rescue team to come and rescue this seal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I filmed the seal, took pictures of it, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to find this little video because I know I have it here in my phone. Here it is. Okay, I'll send this to myself. But I saw this, and then I'll tell you what happened. Send. Okay. So I went to the beach, saw the seal. It was awesome, great weather. San Diego, there's just no place like it on earth. And it'll come through in a second here. And later that night, I'm on Twitter, and it's like national news. SeaWorld's rescue team is trying to rescue this seal, and it falls off the cliff, and I think it died because they couldn't wrangle it. They're jumping on it, they're pulling it, it's squirming, it's moving, and then you just see it disappear and fall off the cliff.
You fucking assholes.
And they got some girl, some 20-year-old girl is like trying to wrangle the seal, and then there's a guy there, a grown man, with like a big butterfly net, and he does nothing. He doesn't do anything. He just stands there and watch her knock the damn seal off the thing. And I thought, what if the girl fell off the cliff too? So the whole thing was a debacle. But it was like, I was just looking at that seal like an hour ago. So I don't know if it died or what the hell happened.
Yeah. See, it's probably like, he probably was like, oh, here, let me help you. No, you can't help me. I can do it. I can. Yeah. Anything you can do.
And it didn't fall in the water. It fell off the cliff down onto the rocks in the sand.
So it did.
It's awful.
That's fucked up.
It was terrible.
And seals, by the way, if you don't live around them, you think, oh, cool, seals and they're mating and stuff. Seals are fucking disgusting. They stink and they're loud as hell. Where I grew up near Monterey, a certain time of year they come up there and there's thousands of them on the rocks on the pier.
Right.
And I saw one time I was on the dock getting on a boat, and these two grown seals were swimming, one right behind the other, and the one in front lets out this brown cloud of shit.
Oh no.
And the one right behind it just opens his mouth and fucking Pac-Mans through the fucking cloud of shit. It was so disgusting. I'm all for recycling, but that was just too far.
So this is what I saw, like this is around lunchtime. This is like 11 in the morning. This is beautiful. This is right by my house. This is La Jolla, one of the most beautiful
big seal though.
It's even a little guy. He's little. That's the size of a dog, that thing, like a little.
Oh, that's probably the last recording of that seal.
Yeah. So I was making that video for my friend from Texas who was always trying to shit on California. And at the end of that video, I said, Brandon, find me this in Texas. And I sent it to him, because we're always having our war. And it's in good fun. But yeah, I was looking at that seal with the baby.
Is it Brandon that works for Eric?
Oh, yeah. We're always fighting. In and out and Whataburger, the endless battle. And
there's no battle. Whataburger's dog shit.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Whataburger is what came out of that seal's ass, and the other one ate it. Same thing, same ingredients.
I was at the San Diego Zoo, the world famous San Diego Zoo, and there was a hippo. And the way they build the hippo tank, they have all the water and the rocks for him, but they have glass, like 6 feet of glass. That you could go down to this lower part so you can see underwater when the hippos, they're these, they just kind of float around, and this hippo was swimming and took a dump while it was swimming.
Yeah.
And it was just a cloud of grass and leaves and not diarrhea, but just whoosh, just turned it all brown and green. It was awful. It was a hippo shit. I mean, just imagine that, right?
That's so disgusting.
It was
I went
so
to a
bad.
zoo. I think I went to Fresno Zoo. I can't remember where it was, but they had some gorillas there. And one gorilla was shitting and the other one's just pulling it out of his ass, eating it. Like, dude, what the fuck? Right out of the tap, dude. I was like, you guys fucking disgusting. I know the zoo feeds you better than that. I know they got something back there better than gorilla shit, but waste not, want not. So yeah, Marty has his fucking pervert binoculars and he sees his father up there. And so he knows what he has to do, but he has to do it without being seen by himself and his mom and his dad. So that adds a layer of difficulty to things.
Charlie, I love you for saying this. Whataburger is the Jack in the Box of Texas. Yes.
Yeah.
Jack in the Box is terrible. It's just one hair above Burger King.
It's late. And we used to go there when we go out clubbing and stuff, like afterwards, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
Right.
2 tacos for $1. It's nothing special. If you
pay less for tacos than you would a pack of gum, rethink what you're doing.
If violent diarrhea is your thing, then you're gonna love Jack.
The Jack in the Box tacos look the same going in as they do coming out.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, is this fresh or did I shit it out? We call it Jack in the Crack. That's what we always call it, Jack in the Crack.
Yeah, Jack in the Box is brutal. And when I lived in Colorado, when I was in college in the early 2000s, I loved Jack in the Box because we didn't have it there. So I'd come out here and get that monstrosity. It was like 2 patties and 8 slices of bacon and 4 slices of cheese. We didn't have it. So like, ooh, Jack in the Box. Then I moved here and I'm like, ugh, Jack in the Box. No,
Jack in the Box. Gross.
Yeah.
Like if you're at a zoo and you can't get to a Jack in the Box, just find a hippo that's shit in the water, stick your hand in the water, and just start eating that.
It's a little bit better than Jack in the Box.
It probably is healthier than Jack.
Now, Diesel's right here though. Something's going on with the egg rolls at Jack in the Box. They're pretty good. That's weird. It doesn't make any sense. I would say they're better than like your typical Chinese buffet because the egg roll at the Chinese buffet, it's like 9 hours old and now it's like a dry like stick. You're like gnawing this thing to eat it. I don't like it.
I'll tell you one thing. One of the times I've been the most pissed off in my life, there's a good Chinese restaurant near where we used to live and I went there and I ordered some egg rolls. I bit into it and it was vegetables. What the fuck? How do you make an egg roll with no meat in it? It should be all meat. Like throw a few carrots in there for color.
Right.
But it should be meat. And it was all like cabbage and shit. I was like, oh man, don't you
like you live in Northern California near the Bay Area, near-ish.
Well, they have the best Mexican food. Go on.
No. I was gonna compliment you. I have the best Mexican food down here. But what I was gonna compliment you, if you just let me, I've heard tell, and I've been there just twice, that you guys have like the best like Chinese food because so many Chinese immigrants where they landed was San Francisco. That's where they were coming in. And I went to Chinatown in San Francisco, like walked into the actual Chinatown, and I got Peking duck. That was my mission. And it was insane. It was so good. And they were very rude to us. And you done now, you go. Like really like bust our table when we were like only 90% done. And like, but it was good. It was quite good. So
yeah, there's great Chinese food up here. I think New York has the largest, New York or San Francisco.
New York and San Francisco are like China Central, right?
Yeah, they have the most Chinese people outside of China. So yeah, it's legit. You're going to get some legit, authentic Chinese food. And there's a place in San Jose called Berryessa Road, and there's a lot of Asian, Japanese, and Chinese and stuff. We went into one, and the lady, my stepdad and I went in there, and he ordered pork fried rice. That lady, there was a pig hanging in the window, and she went and hacked off with a meat cleaver, just hacked off a chunk of pig and chopped that bitch up. It was so good.
Diesel says a 49er in Northern California. He's talking about you, Jericho, by the way, has the best cream of some young guy and pedo poppers. Is this true, Jericho?
Well, I'm sure as a Raider fan, you've sampled them all, so you probably do know where the best is.
If they are rude, you're at a good Chinese restaurant. Yeah, I didn't take offense. Someone told me it was cultural. Like, yeah, get your food and then get out when you're done.
That's
I
cool.
didn't take offense. When I'm in their playground, it's their rules.
That's cool. There's what is it? Damn it, can't remember the name of it.
Panda Express.
Bitch. No, hell no. Damn it. It wasn't Palo Alto. damn it, but somewhere in the Bay Area, kind of inland. And we went to it. We were walking around, and it was kind of like hoity-toity,
like Pleasanton or Woodside.
Maybe it was Pleasanton.
Yeah, that's
but
where
yeah, it was.
And
But
Woodside.
it's very pinky out. A lot of nice foreign cars driving around.
You ever go to Pleasanton, bro?
Dude, so pleasant, dude. And we were walking around, and
pleasant town.
We found this Chinese restaurant, and food was great, service was great, very nice. They didn't say you go now, but it was just like the restaurant from Christmas Story, the red and all that kind of stuff. You know, fa ra 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 ra. It was very much like that. Funny. But the inside, that's immediately what it made me think of. But it was delish.
Yeah,
so good. See, again, Double Impact always gets into evolves into food.
That's what the show is actually about: is improv, comedy, and food. Actually, it's not about 80s and 90s action movies as much. That's third place around here. Yeah, food is 1, improv comedy is 2, action movies is 3, and then Robo Wives is apparently 4 now.
That's a new 4.
Yeah. Why are you home late? You can't be coming home late all the time. We haven't spent any time together this month.
No. Turn around. Let me fix your circuit boards. I don't want to hear that shit.
They make them all naggy and stuff. Would you still love me will you still love me when I get old and rusty? You're like, yes, it's 3 a.m. Let me sleep.
I had a dream last night that you were sleeping with a girl. Fuck. That's what they make you buy the upgrade. If you buy the no bitching upgrade, then you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
Have you gotten in trouble for your wife's dreams? Because I gotten in trouble for one once.
I got in trouble like a week ago or something like that for a dream I've had. She's like, I was so mad. But you know what? I would definitely buy the upgrade. She's like, I haven't sucked your dick in 2 days. Come here. That's what I'm talking about.
Diesel says, you know what is hard to find and should be sold in more places? Loco Moco. That is a Hawaiian specialty with a disgusting name, but it sounds good. I've never had it. Pile of rice, hamburger patty, fried egg, and then brown gravy on top. As a Mexicano myself, at least half Mexican, moco, dude, those are boogers. Moco means boogers. Like, I don't want to eat something eggy and gooey.
Crazy. Let me get the crazy booger.
Yeah, please. Loco Moco. Let me have the crazy booger, please.
No, I know but that's like their national dish, but that's a pretty fucking weak national dish. That's like some GI food that they fucking came up with.
GI food. A real American fat ass.
Like they just fucking, what do you got left? I got a patty, some rice and gravy and a fucking egg and a scoop of fucking macaroni salad. You want that? Yeah, I haven't eaten in 2 days.
I like local plates though. Are you big on, I lived in Hawaii just for a little bit when I was a kid. And a local plate is delicious to me. Some terry beef or terry chicken, the rice scoop, the mac salad scoop. I think it's delicious.
Yeah, I'm down. Chicken. I'm not going to slide it back across the table if you give it to me.
Do you have L&L barbecue up where you live?
No.
It's a franchise from Hawaii, and they have them in Southern California. I think they have it in Vegas, too. Vegas, I don't know if you know this, Jericho. I'm there all the time, so I learned this. Vegas is very Hawaiian. It's actually nicknamed the Ninth Island. There are so many Hawaiians that live in Las Vegas. I don't know the explanation for this, but there's a ton of Hawaiian culture, food, and restaurants. In Hawaii, there's their 7-Eleven is called ABC, their little convenience stores. Yeah. And they're all over Vegas. They actually have them there too. So you'll see when you get out to Vegas.
Overpriced shit because everything's imported. Yeah, I remember ABC.
Spam musubi. My whole family likes that. I do not.
I'm not a big fan of Spam. It's just too damn salty. Like meat in a can.
One thing I would definitely eat in Hawaii is Spam. I think if you made it well done and crispy, I would want it. I couldn't deal with the goopiness of Spam. It's a little too dry.
Yeah, like that pork slime that's in the can. I'm cool. I don't know.
Now with more slime.
Ooh, and now we have just the slime.
Okay, Korean barbecue is one of the best things to go eat. For Minnie's birthday, my daughter, we went to Mana. Mana is a chain of KBB, Korean barbecue places here in San Diego. Not a chain. There's like 3 of them. Line out the door 7 days a week, and it is worth it. It's insanely good.
And you got to barbecue it yourself. What a genius fucking plan.
It's so good. But the great thing about the Korean barbecue is all the sides are free, included with the unlimited meat. For those of you who don't know Korean barbecue, maybe you've never been to it, you go to a restaurant, you can pick from menu A or B. I think B, has more. It has the seafood and the crab legs or whatever, and it costs more money. But for like $35, $40, depending on where you are, it's unlimited meat. They bring it to your table, and all the meat is raw. And in the center of your table is a gas grill. and you put the meat in there and you flip it and turn. They have like 20, 30 types of meat, marinated, spicy, pineapple, this pork, beef. They have lamb, all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. And they bring you the rice and the egg rolls and the dumplings and the soup and all the sides. And you can really stuff yourself there. So it's the kind of day where you wait to eat. You don't have lunch.
Yeah.
And
they got, drinks and stuff. You can get a beer or something, they get a little buzz on and fucking eat yourself sick.
Yeah. Think about what you think about. If you live near a big town, I would recommend. If you live in Podunk, middle of nowhere, I'd be careful. But here in San Diego, obviously it's a big town, and we have Convoy Street. And on Convoy Street, which is pretty close to where I live, all Asian restaurants, just hundreds of them, and they're just family owned, and they're just delicious.
Yeah. And
Mana's on that street, and Jiwang is on there, and Taguki, and like these just amazing Korean barbecue places. And it's awesome. But yeah, if you could get to a Korean barbecue, it ain't cheap, but it's delish.
It's worth it because the cuts of meat are really good, and there's all different kinds. But I think the American version of Asian food is some of the greatest food on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, I think about what you think about if you went to like Boise or something like that, like a big city.
I bet you
they have one for sure.
Yeah.
But not like the traditional homeland, motherland Chinese food where it's like eyeballs and shit. But America, where it's like meat and rice and stuff like that, that's some of the best food in the world.
There's this meat called bulgogi. It's just thin sliced beef, and it's marinated in kind of a sweet, spicy thing, a little bit of soy, and it's so good.
Fill my casket with that when I go.
Right.
That shit is fucking delicious.
Beef galbi, that's like a short rib meat. Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah, gyoza. I've definitely had that.
Imagine bacon, but it's a centimeter thick. And it's marinated in pineapple and hot peppers and stuff. And my mouth is watering. I had an English muffin before the show. I have not eaten enough today.
I haven't had dinner either.
All right, show's over. Save something. They go back in time. Nobody dies. It's cool. All right.
And that's it. Catch us next week.
Toodle-stay. Yakitori is delicious, and gyoza is delicious. But how do you like your gyoza? Do you like it just steamed and the whole thing's chewy, or do you like it steamed and then the bottom pan fried?
Oh yeah,
that's what I like.
You got to do that.
Crisp on the bottom. Give me that little.
Let it cool a little bit so I can just pop that thing in my fucking mouth.
That's what she said. It's fine.
I say fuck it. I'm cool with soup. That's basically what it is. With all kinds of shit in it.
Baby Back to the Future ribs. Great Scott, these are delicious, Marty. Not many proper Lebanese kebab places. So I'll tell you what, Diesel. If you come down San Diego way, East County, San Diego, east of me, 10 miles or so, El Cajon. That means the box in Spanish. El Cajon is a pretty decent sized city in East County, San Diego. Huge Middle Eastern population, a bunch of Chaldeans, Persians, and there are tons of family-owned Middle Eastern restaurants there. I did not know this till a year ago. I've been going out there and getting all kinds of kebab, sultan, all delicious baklava. My people are out there. So yeah, absolutely. Deep fried gyoza.
Ooh, that's fucked up.
A proper lamb kebab with tabbouleh. Yeah, my mom makes tabbouleh. Delish. Broke Back to the Future. How dare you, Mr. E?
I don't want to eat there.
Oh, Diesel knows a spot in El Cajon. Okay, sure. Thousands of Syrians. Yeah, there's tons of Middle Easterners in El Cajon. The Greeks too, Persians. Yeah. So I've been to some great ones.
A lot of hairy chests.
Oh, on Deer Springs Road in Las Vegas, there's a place, Haifez, like the best Persian place I've ever been to. And like you think hummus is simple, it's just smushed. It's bean dip. It's smashed chickpeas. The hummus and pita chip there was insane. The kubede is ground beef mixed with onion, and then they put it on that metal sword and they put it over the coals. Mm-hmm. Get out of here. I think it's called Haifez in Vegas. So good. Man.
There was a place in Vegas. I got to go there, and then they closed like a year later. It was called Bocce Burger, and it was all like, I think they used like Wagyu beef for the patty, and there's one where you get a slice of foie gras on it, and duck. The fries are made with duck fat, and their signature dish, other than the burger, was oxtail chili cheese fries.
Oh,
that shit was fucking.
That's my favorite dish in the world. Is my dad's oxtail stew,
but in a chili. And then over duck fat fried French fries.
Ridiculous.
Oh, come on.
My son found a place called The Butchery in Del Mar, fancy smancy place here in San Diego. I ate there 2 days in a row with him this weekend because it's the greatest hamburger I've ever had in my life. it's a high, like, okay, Del Mar and Carlsbad is really, I mean, the whole town of San Diego is very rich, very expensive homes everywhere. But Del Mar, Carlsbad, and San, this is beachfront. This is insane. And there's a Richie Rich mall there, and there's a butcher shop there that's also a little bit of a restaurant, and it's in this Richie Rich mall. And we went there, and they've got these burgers. It's just a burger, bun with butter, and then white American cheese and grilled onions, and it doesn't need anything else. It doesn't need ketchup, mustard, sauce. You can put that. It tastes fine. Best hamburger ever had in my life. Ridiculous. I went 2 days ago, and they fry the French fries in beef fat, not in vegetable oil. Went there 2 days in a row for lunch. Like, this ridiculous, this hamburger.
Come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, outrageous.
Anyway, I think there's a movie we're talking about.
Yeah. Diesel, you said you're in El Cajon all the time. Hit me up on Instagram if you're in town. Maybe we can grab some lunch or something, dude. So if I'm ever out in San Bernardino, I don't ever stop in San Bernardino on my way to Vegas. I just drive through. I just drive right through San Bernardino.
It's one of those drive-through towns.
Right.
You just fucking hit the pedal to the metal and get
That's
through.
where you hit traffic. Between Southern California and Vegas, you're going to hit traffic on the 215 in San Bernardino. Every time. Day or night.
Son of a bitch. So anyway, this movie's kind of boring compared to what we were just talking about.
Anyway.
But
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you cool cats.
So he makes it to the dance. He's dodging himself, his parents, Biff as well, to try to get the magazine. And then Mr. Strickland, the principal, he finds Biff, and well, first he sees the altercation and all that stuff between his dad, and he sees his dad knock, Biff has his arm twisted. He spins around, knocks Biff out. He sees all that, but that's not the end. Or no, wait. It's before that. Because Biff sees him. Right. Biff sees Marty when he's trying to steal the magazine, and then Biff comes out. Marty's waiting outside this door. Biff comes out. The door fucking hits Marty. Knocks him down on the ground. He's like, "Oh, Doc, I fucked up. He has the book." She's like, "You got to get that book back." So there's a series of, and Biff's cronies are chasing him. There's that classic, again, "What's that over there, guys?" And he knocks down the first guy. He falls into the other two guys, and they're like, "Oh!" They can't seem to get up. Marty runs, and Mr. Strickland finds Biff and takes the magazine from him. So he's like, "Fuck, all right, now I got to break into Strickland's office somehow," because he's, the dance is going on, but he goes back to his office. All the teachers back then, for some reason, had a bottle of whiskey in their desk. So he takes it out, pours a drink. He's looking at it and shit. And then does he throw it in he leaves it. Oh yeah. Strickland is in his chair. He turns around in his chair. He's drinking his drink, looking out the window. And Marty reaches for it. And then Strickland scoots back in his chair and smashes Marty's hand in between the back of his chair and the desk. So now he has to,
wasn't there a Playboy slid in there?
Yeah, he gets to that. So he gets it. "Doc, I got it, blah, blah, blah." And then he fucking pops it open. And then, but then this is right there where he's fucking under there. That's the classic.
He got his hand smashed by Strickland's chair.
Yeah, and that would have broke his fucking fingers, but he has to keep it together because he can't yell because Strickland will see him. And then, he gets the mag. Strickland leaves, throws it in the trash can. Marty gets it. And it turns out Biff just took the cover off and put it over a nudie magazine.
Biff, you naughty boy.
So you're telling chicks you're mine, be abroad, you're lifting up their skirts, and you're jerking off to magazines.
Yeah, what are you doing, Biff? Get your life together, dude.
What a guy. I'm gonna go out, look up some girls' skirts.
I think the magazine was called Ooh La La. That's right. Toodle Skate said it wasn't Playboy. It was Ooh La La.
Well, nudie, yeah, it was a nudie magazine.
Right.
Some titties in it. And back then it was probably respectable titties. Right. It was before the fucking Hustler magazine where they show you a woman's birth canal.
That's how bad Hustler and those things were, that they had to go to court over it. People were like,
it was Hustler was doing this. Pretty crazy. But he gets the magazine, turns out not the magazine, it's just a titty mag. So now the hunt continues for the magazine. So then he goes.
We get that scene again where he's gotta be careful here on YouTube, where he's gonna be real bad to Lorraine. And then the dad knocks him out.
Yeah, and he's out. So then Marty comes up, "Hey, nothing to see here. Watch out, watch out." And he is, searching him for the magazine.
Hold on. Think about what you think. It says, at least back then they were real women.
Yeah, they didn't have dicks.
I guess.
Remember that? Remember when chicks didn't have dicks in those magazines?
That was so cool back then.
so much fun. Like you look at a woman, all you see is tits and vagina.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
so nostalgic.
no surprises.
Now they got a sack. Ew.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I got a strict 1 dick limit.
Right.
In the bedroom.
One's enough.
I brought my own. Thank you.
Like we got it covered.
I brought like those weird people that bring their own condiments to a restaurant. I bought my own. Thank you. I don't need yours. No dicks. Call me old fashioned.
Do you ever bring like a soda in the movie theater though?
Yeah, I've done it before. Hell yeah. Okay. Sodas are like $12.
I like when the lights go out at the theater and you hear the sodas.
Yeah. The crinkling of bags and shit, passing food down the aisle to all the people you came with. I did that. My mom did that back in the day. We stop at like McDonald's or something and then go in. And back then, I'm sure, maybe at the time, the snacks and stuff were overpriced, but now it's crazy.
Right.
But I took my son to see Kung Fu Panda 4. And those of you with small kids, it's no bullshit in it. It was just a regular cartoon, nothing weird. But we just come from, there's an In-N-Out near there. My son loves In-N-Out. So we had dinner, went over to the movie theater. He had some candy. He brought his own candy from home. And so he had it in his pocket. And he's all scared. Daddy, what if they catch us? I was like, don't worry. They're not going to pat you down. But I bought him a water in there. And I went up there and I joked about it. Like, how much is this going to be or something like that. And the girl, she only charged me $2.65 for a water. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
Hunch the Dirty Roofer wants to fight. He says, Jericho, you were in the Navy. I'm calling sus on that 1 dick limit.
Oh, what are you, 15? Sus? Tell me what branch were you in, Hunch the Dirty Roofer, and I guarantee I'll have some jokes for you.
He was in the chair force, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a roofer now. I'm trying to figure out what's the line here. Do you go Marine to roofer? Do you go Army to roofer?
Probably Army to roofer, because you got to be pretty intelligent to be a roofer.
Right.
But Army,
he's a dirty roofer, by the way.
But the Army, those are the guys who go out in the field and sleep in sleeping bags together. So somebody had to be the little spoon.
Hey, you got to stay warm.
There's other ways. There's other ways without having a bulge in your lower back. No, thank you. But somebody's got to be the little spoon. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, think about what you think about sneaking food in the movie theater. That's just what you do.
That's right. That's right. Although I have to tell you this, I don't have a problem bringing in snacks to the movie theater. It's not illegal or anything. But I was, when my kids were little, the dad that would buy everything, spend $40 on the snacks, because my parents didn't take me to the movies growing up. I went with my mom and dad, I think, to like 4 movies growing up. I went to Return of the Jedi. I went to a DuckTales movie. Strangely, we saw Yahoo Serious with my dad. Sleeping Beauty. I can name it on one hand, I think. Didn't go to the movies growing up. Went with my brother a few times alone. But I would take my kids to all the Disney shit and all the Pixar before it was woke. And I took them too long because I
was going to say, you held on to that dream a little too long.
We were at like Ninja Turtles 2 or Moana or something. My kids are like 17 and 15 or something. And I'm sitting there watching this horrible Moana movie. And I'm like, they're too old for this. Why are we here? I hate this movie. I could put up with these when they were little. And I talked to them about like, yeah, Dad, we didn't want to say anything because we know you like taking us, but we don't like these movies anymore.
Like 10 years ago, we were over.
Right. But it was like a sad moment. It was like, oh God, I overshot this by like 8 years or something.
No,
but I would always, the big popcorn, 2 big sodas, hot dog for my daughter, nachos for my son. I would buy everything. My wife's like, why do you do that? I'm like, listen, how many movies am I going to take them to in their life? Like 20 movies growing up, 30. How much money is that really? Like $1,000. It's worth it. So they don't think their dad's a cheapskate with the damn nachos. So,
no, I respect people who hit the, I've done that before. Usually just like popcorn and some candy, nothing like.
No, I go all out. I'll go back, buy candy if they need more. I don't know. So, I met Young Einstein. Yahoo Serious is a character in Young Einstein. Yeah. No idea why we saw that movie. My dad's very conservative. He doesn't put up with any filth. And I think there was a sex scene in that movie or something. And I'm like 11 or 12. And
awkward.
I don't even know what the hell this movie was. I have no idea how we ended up at that movie. So, how old is too old for that kind of tradition? I'd rather do it too long than too short. I'll tell you that. As a father, I'm not upset that we went to kids' movies too long. I didn't know they didn't like it. But it dawned on me, like we're in the middle of either Moana or one of the Ninja Turtle movies, and they're both well into high school at this point. And
I mean,
They told me they didn't have the heart to tell me for a couple years.
Usually, once they start like wanting to hang out with their friends more than you, that's when
Right.
you know.
Right. But every time I saw one of those big budget animated things, I'm like, oh, I'll take you guys this Saturday, and we'd go, and it was fun. And so, yeah. Let's see. Hunch is back. Personal space goes away when an overnight in the field is in play.
That's right.
That's the Army motto, huh?
That's right. Knows what's up. Like, no. I'll take one sleeping bag, please.
Toodle Skay, I believe it said, is 62, and she likes all. Who doesn't? When Disney made quality,
great.
wholesome family entertainment, nobody did it better. No one did it better than the Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty. It's a murderer's row of movies they did. 101 Dalmatians. All
my favorite was The Sword and the Stone.
Awesome.
That was my favorite when Merlin comes back from the future and he has like the Hawaiian shirt on and shit and the long beard. Yeah, The Sword and the Stone was my favorite. But just the other day, we were watching the old like Disney cartoons that I like watch in the morning, and it was my favorite one was Goofy when he was normal getting ready in the morning. Goodbye, dear. And then he gets in the car and he turns into a fucking monster because he's so mad. That was my favorite. But the one we watched the other day was Donald Duck. I used to always love how angry Donald Duck was. He was fucking angry for no reason. I love that motherfucker. But it was the one where the bee kept buzzing around the flowers in the window.
Yeah.
And the bee was just trying to be a bee, but Donald Duck was so fucking pissed that he's like trying to spray him with pesticides.
I love Donald Duck.
Donald was a fucking asshole. He was so mad. I love that shit.
Yeah. Robin Hood, Toodle Skay. Robin Hood is a great one. Robin Hood is such a great Disney. And then Disney had that renaissance in the 90s, starting in 89 with Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. That's another murderer's row for Disney of movies. Those are all fantastic movies.
Was it Snow White where the evil witch or whatever, she turns into that dragon?
No, that's Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, that was a good one. She turned into that dragon. That shit was scary. Yeah, that was a good one. One I never liked was Fantasia. It's fucking words. Fuck
as an artist, I love it. It's such a great exercise in animation. Was Iron Giant a Disney movie? No, it was not. It was a great animated movie. It was not. My kids love that as little kids. I bought them the big Iron Giant robot. They still have it to this day. So
Sword and the Stone was my favorite, man. I love that one.
So anyway, back to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. His parents have gotten together, maybe. And then we get to revisit that thing where he's going to play guitar for them and all that.
Yeah, Johnny Be Good.
And then he goes a little too crazy and he's like, well, your kids are going to love it. Maybe you weren't ready for it,
And they were just like, what the hell? He was shredding. They were like, what the fuck is this?
Can you imagine, Jerk, if we had a DeLorean, we traveled back to 1955 and we showed them WAP or something like that?
Oh, they'd probably shoot us.
Chase us out of town.
Yeah, the mob, they'd fucking take us to the town square and fucking kill us. They're like, what? Then we could take them, we'd go back and show them yoga pants. They'd fucking pass out. But and then while this is happening, Marty's on the side of the stage and Biff's goons are waiting for him on the opposite side of the stage. And so he looks up and he sees the rope that has the sandbags, to raise and lower shit. So he gets up there and he barely reaches it and he unties it and the sandbags fall from like 20 feet. And in reality, they would kill them. These sandbags are like 50 pounds each. It would fucking break their necks.
Who is the
guy? But he does it twice.
Who's that right there?
That's Billy Zane.
That's the bad guy from Titanic.
Yeah. And he does it twice. He drops it on them initially. They fall into a pile. And as he's going past them, they wake up and he fucking raises it up, slams it on them one more time, just to make sure they're dead.
A few more brain cells lost to the concussion.
Yeah, no. You're not ready for a medically induced coma yet. Let me do it one more time.
Right.
And so he gets away from those dudes, but it's not over yet. That's where he's reaching to untie the bags. But it's not over yet because now Biff, that's where he sees him right there. And he's all,
he gets out
right now, me and you. And he's like, I don't got time for this shit, Biff. And so that's where Marty gets hit with the door and gets knocked out. Biff takes off. But then he runs and says, Doc, he has the book. And so they find him driving through that same tunnel that he was driving to the dance. So I guess he's going back home. And so Marty ends up getting in his hoverboard and comes up on Biff's car and he tries to reach and steal the magazine.
I like that they do these motifs. They repeat these motifs in all three movies of stealing the scooter from the kids, turning it into a skateboard, holding onto the back of a car and getting drugged, making Biff crash and get manure dumped on him. Like it's fun to have the little like repeating sort of, because I think it does go with the concept of alternate universes and alternate times where they're repeating themes. There's an insane book that they turned into what I think is a fantastic movie called Cloud Atlas. It was a sci-fi book like 20 years ago, and the movie's insane. You got to watch it.
I've seen it.
Okay, you've seen it?
Yeah,
it's got like Tom Hanks and Haley Berry and the guy that was Mr. Smith from The Matrix, and about 5 main actors, and they all play different people throughout time, but they change. Like they turn some of the white actors Asian, they turn some people black sometimes, and they're telling all these different stories, and it's just kind of the concept of a soul traveling through time repeatedly, like being reincarnated or something. Fascinating movie. I've heard the book is even better. I've never read the book, but I've heard the book is insane.
Yeah, the movie was great, and that character, that Mr. Smith, the guy who played that in The Matrix, that green, like, conscience of his that's just fucking telling him he ain't shit and stuff, like that was a creepy ass character right there.
Right.
That was creepy. But yeah,
the ending of that movie,
because that's in the beginning, the first Back to the Future, that's how he gets to school. He's late, so he holds onto the back of that truck on a skateboard and like basically gets a ride to school. And then again in this one, but this time now, Biff, you see him in the back of your car. You didn't see him in that quiet garage sitting right behind your grandpa or your older self. But now flying down a highway in the fucking convertible, you notice this guy quietly trying to sneak and take your book. So then, Biff is fucking murderous.
He's a menace. He has no problem flipping up women's dresses, and now he's going to smear Marty on the wall of this tunnel.
Yeah, commit murder. He's going to murder this kid. But back then, I mean, as long as you weren't on the scene when the cops show up,
I guess
you didn't leave your ID there, you were pretty much going to get away with murder. So yeah, he gets it finally, and right as the tunnel ends and he comes out of it, Doc lowers that flag thing, picks him up, and then what happens? Biff slams right into the back of a fucking manure truck again. Blam! Road apples everywhere. And so they go back to that place, the Lion Estates, that's under construction in 1955. But then Doc gets struck by lightning and he disappears.
Right.
So Marty's like, shit. And it was cool when he got struck by lightning and disappeared. And then you see that string with the flags on it, it just falls to the ground, like smoldering and shit. So you think, oh shit, what happened? What happened to Doc? So he burns the almanac. So that ends any chance of Biff getting rich and killing his father. And you see the newspaper change to George McFly honored instead of murdered. So everything seems to be cool.
What if it changed from him being murdered to hit something else, but it was also bad? George McFly in prison for like embezzlement or fraud. Or
yeah.
You have to keep changing time until something bad doesn't happen.
George McFly sodomized. You're like, oh shit, I definitely got to change that. So sorry, Dad. I definitely got to change that. But yeah, everything's cool. But then he's like, well, shit, how am I going to get back to 1985? I'm trapped in 55 because Doc just got struck by lightning and he disappeared.
Right.
So then this car pulls up and this guy gets out. And this guy, who is it? Where do I know this guy from?
I don't know.
He was in Happy Gilmore and he was the one who kept calling him Jackass. I'm sure he's in other things, but that's what I know him from. And he says, I was told to deliver this. And this day, at this time, in this spot, we've had this in our office for 70 years. And if you go back 70 years, that's 1885.
Right.
So now they're tying in the third one into this one. Doc Brown sent that to him 70 years in the past.
Telling him that he lives in the Old West in 1885. And did he say not to come look for him or to come? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But he's like, yeah, this has been like, everybody's been talking about this. So finally the day comes, I'm supposed to deliver it. He's like, well, what the hell is it about? So like by the light of the headlights on his car, he's reading it. Right. Again, cool. Nice torrential downpour scene. Always love those in a movie. And so, yeah, Doc, he has to go back here because he knows the lightning's going to strike at a certain time and then try to get back to 1985 this way. So he's telling him, and earlier he says, he's telling him, I'm from the future, blah, blah, blah. You made the time machine. And he's like, bullshit. I don't, that's not true. And blah, blah, blah. And he tells him, and he closes the door on him. So through the door, he says, I know how you got that bump on your head. You fell and hit your head in the bathroom. And then so he opens the door. Oh shit. You really do know me.
Right.
And then so he's trying to get back to 1985, and then how are they going to do it? And then they hit you with a to be continued.
Concluded. Yeah. And it's and then I think in real life it came out 6 months later. So everyone was talking about this at school. Somehow I never saw this movie. I don't know how. I never saw any of these back then.
Oh yeah, I did. I loved it. And then at the end of the movie, they basically show you most of the third movie with all these scenes and the rifle he had that he made. Because even it's cool because even though it's 1885, he still has like as futuristic as possible, like all these gadgets he builds, like the sniper rifle with the scope on it and shit, and he shoots the rope, saves his life. Biff, you see Marty doing the moonwalk, which is a very 80s thing in 1885.
Can you moonwalk? I cannot, and I've always wanted to, but I don't want to put in the practice.
No. When I was a kid, I could, because I was a kid in the 80s, breakdancing was everything. I remember flattening cardboard boxes and
Black to the Future. What is Black to the Future?
I don't know. I don't want to see it though. But yeah, breakdancing was everything. You flatten. If somebody got like a big appliance or something with a big box, you flatten it out, breakdance. I remember breakdancing everywhere. It was just everything. It was everywhere. It was in commercials, TV shows. Michael Jackson was fucking crazy, but no, I haven't been able to breakdance for years and years. But yeah, right there where it shows coming summer 1990, and then that's 1990, a new decade. Like, they just they nailed it.
I remember my mom's friend, a really good friend, lived next door to us on Lofty Trail Drive in Rancho Bernardo. That's North County, San Diego. I don't live there anymore. Her name was Carol Shelton. Her husband, Fred, he flew an AWAC. You know what that is, Jericho?
I believe so.
It's the E2. It's the Navy jet or the Navy plane with the radar dish on top.
Oh, yeah. The Hawkeye. Yeah.
Yeah, the E2 Hawkeye. He flew that thing. But I remember it was like the first week of January 1990, and she was like hanging out with my mom in our house talking, and she like came up and grabbed my hand. She goes, "Can you believe it's 1990?" Like, and yeah, 90. Since it's a high number, right? We only go to tens, and then we go for a new century. It did seem super futuristic. It's the 90s, man. Like it seemed like living in the future. Because I think now, like obviously, we live in the cutting edge. We live in the current moment. But we live in the 20s. And when you talk about the 20s, it sounds old timey, right? Because we think of the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's something about living in the low digits. When people look at us, it won't sound futuristic. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. And like, look at a phone now. I remember when touch screen, there was like one touch screen phone. You're like, this shit's weird. Like I need buttons. Now everything's touch screen. Right. Everything's flat and square. And just imagine back in like 20 years ago, 2004, what a phone was, that flip phone shit with the antenna on it. And all it could do was call and barely text. It had like the ringtones that came with it, Flight of the Bumblebee or some shit, or some like island, sound and shit. But it was nothing. Now
it had for Elise.
Yeah, he fucking called me. And that was it. Fucking, it was very limited. And now you don't even use ringtones. You just find one on your phone that doesn't sound too annoying. But back then it was like when you could download songs as your ringtone. Oh shit, a song? Like, that's so fucking crazy. And look at it now.
It's like stupid to have a song as your ringtone. And then remember there was like ringback songs or something. Like if you called someone and they didn't pick up, and start playing a song. Yeah. And like some people would have like 30 seconds of a hip hop song, like, "Yo, this is John. Leave a message at the beep." Have you left a voicemail like in the last 10 years? I don't leave them. What for?
No, I don't. Just hang up. They'll see your missed call.
I don't listen to them either. I'll just call back and say, "What did you need?"
Yeah. Or else if someone leaves one, I'll just go to it and just erase it. Like I know your fucking number, and if it was an emergency, you would have called again and again until I picked up. So what the fuck? But yeah, you look at how far we've come, and like if you go back to 2000 and show somebody an iPhone, like 13 or 15, whatever they're on, they shit their pants.
Right.
But there's this thing. You know what I do if I go back, if I could go back to the future, I'd fucking find who created all these social media platforms and derail their plans. I'd burn their fucking their blueprints. Social media is
one of the worst things ever.
Yeah, burn their blueprints.
So let's end the poll. Most of you would invest in Amazon. That's what you said.
But a close second. Get that almanac, make that money.
We got a lot of biffs. Got a lot of biffs in the audience.
You crooks. I'd be one of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to Vegas and making a killing.
Yeah. What did she say here? It's weird if you think about it. We say 1820s and 2020s, but we just say the 20s for the 19. Yeah, I think because most of us that are adults and all that, we grew up in the 19s. We didn't grow up in the 20s. We're living in it now, but that's where we learned everything was back then. So.
Yeah, what a great fucking time. I wouldn't mind going back to 1990 because you're still a little bit 80s, but we're in the 90s.
We might be going back to 1993 for something, Jericho. We might.
Yeah, that could be a very important year for some serious events.
Street Fighter 2 had just been out for like a year. Blockbuster Video was in its prime.
Super Nintendo was fucking everything. Street Fighter and pizzerias. Come on.
Right. Just the right amount of pepperoni grease on the joystick,
The turquoise, purple, hammer pants, starter jackets.
Right. Color Me Bad.
Oh man. Come on.
What about Extreme More Than Words?
Oh, the black and white fucking acoustic fucking. Right. Oh yeah, man.
And then when you're in college, there's a guy that'll bring his guitar out as the night goes on and try to play that song.
More power to him. It works.
I know, but that guy's annoying. He's gonna take his guitar and just bust it over his head.
Fucking animal.
Knock it off. I was talking to girls first.
Don't ever let me go.
Shut up, you asshole.
We all had our place in the world.
Who's the worst guy at the college party? Is it guitar guy? Is it guitar guy?
Yeah, I think so. Either guitar guy or the one-up guy.
Oh.
He needs to get throat punched too.
Well, as long as Biff is not there flipping anyone's dress up like
grabbing chicks by the face.
Wild fucking animal.
Get it through your thick skull, you dizzy dame. You're my girl.
Oh, goodness. Well, guys, hit the like and share this out. Tell your friends.
Fucking better.
And of course, next week, we know what next week's going to be. Next week's going to be Back to the Future 3, of course. But it's going to be a special edition next week because of the stuff going on next week, Jericho. What are you going to be doing next Wednesday? Remember? I don't know.
Will we be able to?
We'll figure something out. Watch my social media. Watch Jericho's social media. We will figure something out. But there's a special thing on Wednesday next week. So, we'll figure that out, guys. All right, we'll talk to you later. Subscribe to Jericho's channel. Subscribe to mine. Go get Dean Cain, All-American Lawman right now, bigmancomics.com. Guys, there are just a few of the first prints left. Just a few. And I'm going to be done shipping out. My plan is to finish shipping everything out by weekend, early next week. I'll have all the orders out. So it's been a lot of work. But it should all be out. And I'm on to the next, by the way. I'm on to the next. And I've already got a lot of it written. It's already being drawn. There will be Dean Cain Volume 2. We've already talked about that, Mr. Dean and Akion and myself. But there's a little matter of something else happening. Hold on. Let me stop sharing my screen because I don't want to accidentally show something like I have in the past. We were watching Total Recall. Remember that? That was something.
Good times, man.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'll do that. Okay. Share my screen now. That's all I'm going to show you. A little something there from my next book. But
that's amazing. Yeah. I get the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Jericho gets to see it all. But you're going to love my next book. And that my other next book that I'll just say it. I'm not going to say the name or the premise. Me and Jericho are doing a book. Come on. We've kind of hinted at it forever. We are. And I'm drawing that one. I'm actually drawing that. We're co-writing it. We're having a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
I will be drawing that. The one I just showed you, that's something else. The one with Jericho, it couldn't be more perfect. The concept, I love it so much. So we have some art for that. We'll start talking about that sooner or later. But I love it, love it, love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's gonna be fucking great.
All right, guys, check out all the links in the description. Subscribe to Jericho's the Green's House. Jericho's regular channel, JG Talk on Instagram. Follow me, Big Man Comics on Twitter, X, whatever, and everywhere else. I'm just Gabe L. Tabe. Follow us everywhere. Don't follow me home, but follow me on social media. And we'll talk to you guys with Back to the Future 3 on the next episode of
Double Impact.
Bye-bye.